Okay, guys, so we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Dungeon Master this evening, or this afternoon, or this morning, wherever this finds you, whenever this finds you. Today, we are carrying on with our quarantine campaign, playing Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition, playing through the classic 2013 release, Legacy of the Crystal Shard. And with me tonight today are the stars of the Night Below, stars of the Legacy Crystal Shard campaign, the Quarantine Crusaders themselves. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what level are you currently? First up, I have Andrew.
Hello everyone, I'm Andrew. I am playing Cola Battlehammer,
Hammerstone.
Hammerstone, good lord.
Have you forsaken your family so quickly, boy?
Didn't take long. Give up on your lineage. That's a good one to choose, though.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm a Dwarven Priest of Clangeddon. It's been a few sessions, but I'm pretty sure I'm level 4.
Okay, nice. Next up is Arlen.
Hi, I'm Arlen, and I am playing Gorwyn, who is an elven fighter of the 4th level. And he's a pretty good fighter, but not quite as good as some of the others because he's a bit of a history nerd and doesn't kind of focus like everybody else does.
Yeah. Next up is Mo. Oh, Mo's taking his tablets. Hold on, we'll do John first.
Hey everyone, I'm John. I am playing Falcorel Hawkfriend. He is a half-elven ranger specialty priest of Solinar. He is level 5 in each.
Nice. Next up is Dave.
Hey everyone, I am Dave, your resident armorsmith, and I am playing Lex Wiltshire, Ranger of Myliki of the 5th level.
Excellent. Mo. Oh, Mo's still with me.
No. Hi, I'm Morris. I'm playing Thomas Branner, who is a 5th level fighter from one of the southern towns.
Nice. All right. So, guys, we've got some people rejoining who were not here last session. What happened last session? I think it was you guys made some eventful discoveries.
Yes. Trying to organize my thoughts on that.
Sure.
I'm trying to figure out what we did.
Well, the broad outline was...
And
So-
broad outline was we were going towards the 10 towns to see what was happening.
Mhm.
And came across some refugees from the Ragged tribe.
The Elk tribe.
We then camped for the night after patching up some of their wounds. So we made a collective camp, and then we were attacked in the middle of the night by some more Yetis, who we quickly dispatched.
Now, you guys also you discovered some further information about this White Witch as well, too.
Yes. Her origin story and how that, while she's a great evil, there was a reason she turned that way.
And
So,
what was that? For the benefit of the players who were not here last time.
Yes. Basically, what happened is one of the tribesmen's sons was, son of a shaman, I believe. And he wasn't touched by the spirits like his father, so that made him kind of an outcast. And then somebody had a daughter who was also an outcast in a similar method. And they fell in love, but before, I think... I'm not sure how the man died. I forgot that, but he was found dead.
Frozen.
And, frozen to death, yes.
Yep.
And
They say it was from her kiss.
yeah, from her kiss. Well, that's what townspeople said. But basically, she was driven off and exiled and came under the influence of Arel.
Aurel.
Aurel, yes.
Yep.
The
Like
God
stubbing your
was-
toe. Ow! Real.
Yes. And so we're pretty sure she's behind everything. She's camped off way to the northeast, near the glacier, where apparently Icing Death was, and Wolfgar snuck in a back way that we might try to find if we ever go there. But we decided to head towards Bryn Shander to find out what's going on. Oh, that's a good
Okay.
summary.
I think I think the plan was that after the rest, we were going to send the refugees to Paldrinor at the mouth of the Dwarven Valley.
Yep.
For sort of refugee status, because we didn't want to turn up with Rhaegar tribes people, as they are decidedly persona non grata in the 10 towns anymore. Or certainly at least in Bryn Shander. But,
yeah. So I think you guys they mentioned that they were turned away at the gates as well too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys, I'm just trying to grab my notes here.
Yeah, I should have paid attention. I took notes as well.
Oh, it's okay. I just, so many pickup games and so many charity games this past weekend. My notes have all gotten mixed up.
Here's my notes that I took on the story.
Oh, great. I just want my list of my names. That's all. Okay. So then, Andrew and Arlen, do you have any questions about what you have learned?
Well, I'll admit, actually, I had one question watching, not last session, but the one before.
Yep.
It wasn't clear to me how when the dragon appeared and then went off.
Yep.
Kevin, I heard, you said in that moment that it appeared that her army was defeated. But I missed the part. I went back and I couldn't tell how. It was it was there and she was leading it, was she not? Or did I completely?
Well, no, they were buried in the avalanche.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that avalanche got them.
Yeah, no, they
How
were
convenient.
completely consumed by the avalanche.
The White Winter Queen's witches army was defeated by an okay.
Well,
Love the irony.
When a god interjects in another god's plans, it kind of gets messy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, what are you guys planning on doing next then? Let's go to the overland map because I think you're on your way to Bryn Shander. You're sending the refugees on their own to the entry of the Dwarven Valley?
Yeah, I think we patched them up, gave them some rations. I think some of us had.
Do you have
for
rations,
this
guys?
I do.
Yeah.
We did top up before we left, and I bought 2 weeks of rations.
Okay. No, it's fine. So I want to make sure you're tracking it because that is something important in this game.
I'll give them a week's worth.
Okay.
I mean, that will feed about 7 people, I suppose, but...
Yeah, because, I mean, there's the people you've got in the camp. It's like, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people.
Can we have Yeti steaks?
Yeti is not a... they are intelligent enough that that would be a little too close to eating a sentient being.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so that's... If you guys ask, it's a reasonable question, but if you ask, that's what they say is like, no, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna top off Tom before we go to bed.
Okay.
With a cure mod.
Okay. Go ahead and give us a check there.
Yep, there you go.
All right, how much did you get there?
8.
8, nice. Not bad at all. Okay, so I can't...
So what time was the attack? I'm just wondering whether it's worth...
the attack was in the middle of the night, so it's like 3 in the morning.
In terms of what shift, because I think it's probably my turn at some stage to do a shift.
Sure.
So I'll put the armor on and I'll do the next shift.
Okay. Yeah, that's right, you were stuck fighting without
Yeah.
without your stuff on.
I'm assuming I managed to get my boots on, otherwise I would be frostbitten by now.
Yes. Yeah, you definitely had your boots on. Because I wouldn't have you die any other way. But what is... All right. So then, guys, we are heading out to... What I'm going to do this afternoon is I'm going to organize my notes. Ah! I found the notes I'm looking for. Guys, stop panicking. Guys, you can stop panicking. Get that look of panic off your face, Andrew. I found my notes. Okay.
I'm just making a Slytherin dice bag. Sorry, man.
Yeah, okay. So then, guys, we are heading out to, let's see here, to Bryn Shander. So I get to roll 2 random encounters in, one for yourself and one for the refugees that you left to travel to the Dwarven Valley on their own.
Who are also Rhaegar tribesmen and taunted us about our abilities to travel in winter.
Children. Yeah. Yep, children and old folks. They are definitely children and old folks of the Rhaegar tribesmen. Yep.
Probably have better survival skills than I do.
There is a different kind of threat that may pose itself. All right. And then for you guys, tell me how you're going to approach the Bryn Shander too. And what is it you're trying to achieve in Bryn Shander? Let's all get on the same page with that.
Oh, well, we have to make sure that Cole is our faux merchant who's peddling the black ice goods.
Yeah, we brought some fake fat black ice with us that they made so that we could, because they don't know the flow has stopped. We're going to see if we can get into the town and find out what's going on.
Okay.
Cole gets to pose as a dwarven merchant who is selling black ice. We figured this would go over really well.
I will try to channel my inner Keldar/Silk for you.
I think if we get turned away at Bryn Shander, we were planning to go north after that to Targos.
Were we?
I thought maybe
maybe that was
Dinival or Caer Konig was
Maybe-
one option.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no, it would be, Targos would be the next level up.
So
it's only
let's
like-
talk over why were you guys, explain to Andrew and Arlen, why were you guys intending on going there?
When it was a backup in case we get kicked out.
Yeah.
I don't
Or we
remember that.
approached
Like,
the
and
gates
then you
to
just
look
you
up
live there
and we
forever,
see,
or what?
Well, no, we discussed going overland to Tourmaline, and we found out it's more like a resort town. So we thought Jeff had some background in Targos, that we were basically out here to find out what's going on with the outer world. And
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys
The
all
outer
know,
world.
if you mean the outer world is outside the Dwarven Valley, then yes.
Yeah.
The outer world, the pass to the rest of the Sword Coast is going to be like packed and impassable until winter ends.
so
So what was
The other option
So-
was, of course, if we get
hold on, before we
go
go on, I still don't understand, why is it you're
Yeah.
going to the town up there?
well, that's only if we don't get into Bryn Shander. It's like it's too. Did we get turned away, or it's
So
just too
why
hot?
would that, what I want to understand is, why would that be the place you would go next then?
This is the closest, I think,
nearest.
To do what though?
to get more
Uh,
information.
More information and plan. I think we were concerned that if we arrived at the gates with our hoods up and there were big signs saying wanted, dead or alive,
Yeah.
500 gold.
No, and
pieces.
I understand that. What I don't understand is what the attraction is of going up there. I just want to understand what your
Oh.
hope.
It's the nearest place.
That and you mentioned Jeff's character had some background up there that we might find a place to.
No, he had a hunting lodge that was north of town.
Oh, okay. I got that turned around then. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, and the only things
Yeah.
that we know about the world outside of what's going on is that there's some black ice in the towns along the lake.
Yeah, and like I'm not trying to force your hand here one way or the other, guys. I just want to understand what the decision making was to get there, so I can prep accordingly. Because if I'm not sure you've heard anything about what's going on in Mayor Dwalden since you guys got here. So apart from it being
Let's just try and get into town.
Well,
okay.
we do have to narrow it down. So yeah, I think we're trying to find out the extent of Luskin's influence, because they're pushing where they shouldn't be pushing.
Well, don't we know?
So let's just talk this through. What more information do you think you're going to get in Bryn Shander right now? And again, like I'm not trying to force a hand one way or the other. I just want to make sure that you all are on the same page for what you know so far. What do you know so far about Luskin's influence in Bryn Shander?
It's extensive. They own the speaker. They basically control the 10 towns. They were into the Dwarven Valley and controlling half the dwarves. They have if they're in league with Auril, there's a cult of Auril in Bryn Shander, and we know that there's some weird creatures in Bryn Shander that are working with, potentially working with the former speaker,
Right.
or the new speaker. Sorry.
So you know that effectively the local government is completely under the new speaker's control then. And the new speaker also has the distinction, for Bryn Chandler at least, of being the speaker of the 10 towns as well. So, again, like I'm not trying to. That's great, Dave. Thank you. What I want to try and figure out is what you guys want to do while you get, like, if you're showing up and wandering around, that's cool. But like, it would be better if you had a goal for what you're actually trying to achieve here. What is it you want to specifically learn? Like, if you.
We had some contacts. Yeah, we had some contacts. The guy we did the job to protect the warehouse from the weirs.
Yep.
Yeah, that's.
I thought
the
the point of
obvious
going to Bryn.
Right. No, like, and I get that you know people there, but what is it that you're trying to, like, think for what is it you're trying to get out of this? What are you trying to get out of the trip to Bryn Chandler?
I thought the purpose of going to Bryn Chandler was to try and upset the Luskin control, and give us more allies when we have to face the White Witch.
Okay.
That was kind of what I thought we were doing.
That's more of a long-term goal, but it was really to find out what's happening.
We have to do something. We don't have any other leads on things to do.
Yeah, the only other note I have down here is maybe track down the black ice or find out where it's going. But
guys, what did you learn last session?
The black ice is no more. There's no more coming out of.
No,
you can't get it through the pass.
Well, we learned about the glacier and the tribes parked up there, and we need to get forces to move up there, right?
They won't be. That's the end of the fighting season. I think they're done for a bit.
The winter isn't going to stop the elks, the bear tribe.
So, Gorwin and Cola, you guys are kind of up to speed on what the party's talking about. What's your 2 cents in this?
I am.
If you have questions, let's help clarify that stuff too. Bring everyone up to speed as to, so we're all on the same page where we're going and what we're doing.
So you want me to pose as a merchant selling this fake black ice, but to what end and purpose? Like, who are we trying to find out who's buying it, but then what are we doing with that information?
Well, I think that was just mostly a cover to get into Bryn Chandler without causing too much of a suspicion.
Traveling in this time of winter would raise suspicion unless you had something of value that was, couldn't wait, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sort of low volume, very high value. The only reason for anyone traveling in this sort of weather, I think we had this discussion with Kev and ourselves, that you wouldn't turn up with beer or something bulky, but something small and precious.
And
yes, possibly.
And I mean, and obviously we have no idea if because our faces were known when we were here a month or so ago. It hasn't been that long since we were here.
Nay, it has not. So the only other things that we had that we could do was to try and take the Icewind Pass, or travel somehow in the frozen wastes northeast to try and find the Black Tower, or what's the name of where the Rhaegar tribesmen meet?
Evermelt.
Yeah, we had one of the Rhaegar guys offered to guide us there, but assuming he makes it back to Paladinor.
And I forget, did we meet up with our friend in the elk tribe?
No.
We believe he's been captured and taken to Evermelt.
Yes.
Okay.
To become dragon food.
Strikes me that perhaps that's a place for us to focus our energies.
Yeah, just that place is a long way from here. Way past there.
Across the frozen glacier.
Arlen? Or Gorwin?
I suppose, I guess if our eventual goal, our ultimate goal, is stopping the White Witch, seems like that involves traveling to this this glacier and all that sort of stuff eventually. I guess what I'm wondering is, what do we hope to gain in the short term by coming to Bryn Shander or the other 10 towns before going there?
Well, she's got a really big undead dragon and a small army. And last time it took the entire 10 towns gathered forces to drive them off or defeat them. And right now everything's pretty much broken and shattered, and very little allegiance is left. So I'm thinking we've got to break Luskin's hold here. Just not sure
I
how
wonder
to...
whatever became of Speaker Deshane or Shane.
Devessa Shane?
Yeah.
Not sure.
She might be someone to ask if we're looking for information on what happened after we left, and to get a sense of the political situation here, whether or not this is even a safe place for us to be. If we can get in, perhaps she's someone for us to chat with.
Seems like a good idea.
So that was my thought. It's really to see, has it turned into a police state, or is it still a bit open? We can find out what on earth's going on and potentially contact the resistance, if there is one.
I mean, I'm all right with that as long as there's some end game involved.
Well, I think the idea was we wanted to get a feel for what the political situation was and whether we could act to improve it in our favour and replace the Luskan influence.
I guess my question is, would Luskan-controlled Bryn Shander be able to command enough of an army to fight whatever army the White Witch is bringing? Because if so, then maybe the Luskans are a secondary threat to the White Witch, because it seems like we can trust that the Luskans will do what they can to defend their hold on this place, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the Luskans in charge, can we rely on the dwarves playing nice?
Well, that's sort of my question, is if the Luskans are in charge, if it comes to worst and we have essentially a meeting of one side led by Luskans from Bryn Shander or Luskans leading the forces of Bryn Shander and the rest of the 10 towns and the dwarves versus the White Witch, would this part of the Adale be able to prevail with that situation, or do we need to change something before that happens? Is, I guess, my
I think we are going around the houses here. I think we've decided we're going to go to Bryn Shander.
No.
No, we're trying to. This is called direction. We need a goal, so then we can have a strategy, and then we determine steps to take.
Yeah.
If we don't have a goal and we're just going to go places, and then
Okay. The long-term strategy is reverse the political change of control in Bryn Shander.
Well, again,
Find
Mo,
out
what
whether any other towns have been changed.
Mo, hold on. What Arlen said is that really going to get you anything? Is that necessary, or is the White Witch? Is that what you said, Arlen?
Well, basically what I'm saying is, if what we need is the 10 towns to be strong, the Luskans defend themselves, right? They're going to defend their hold on this place. Well, I think we can agree about that. Are they going to be strong enough to fight the White Witch in the current situation, or do we need somebody like Devessa Shane at the helm for the unity that will provide?
Well, if I remember correctly, wasn't the worshippers of Alrel the reason that caused political instability in Bryn Shander in the first place?
Yeah, there was a cult that was
One of them, I think.
So I'm not sure if
There's
they're...
one of several things going on, but there was definitely a cult of Aurel in Bryn Shander when we were last there.
Well, okay, I suppose one aim would be to destabilize it by exposing it.
Well,
Destabilizing the cult by exposing it.
Or can we use the cult or find out more about Arl and how to defeat Arl by, invading the cult?
Who was it that was approached by that female merchant?
Store talked
Was
to
it
the female
was it
merchant,
Store? It was one of the others, wasn't it?
who was very willing to talk to the handsome mercenary.
Yeah.
But not the elves. So we might
Not
be
the elves.
challenged in that regard. That most of us are demi-human. A good portion of our group.
Just me, isn't it?
mm-hmm.
We're not going to be able to just walk in and join the cult of Arl because they seem to look poorly on non-humans.
No, I just know we have to get to Evermount and stop them. I just don't know how to go about it.
Maybe infiltrating the cult and learning more about Arl is the key to figuring out how to beat Arl.
That's one
Maybe it
strategy. Yeah.
Nothing to do with the politics of Bryn Shander at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, there's lots of things going on in Bryn Shander, so one of them is finding what's happened to the former speaker. Is she under house arrest, sort of thing? Could we break her out to form a resistance? But I like the idea of infiltrating the cult, because really we've just got folk memories and folk stories, and we've seen she's powerful.
Do we know how they drew off the icing death last time?
King Wolfgar killed Icing Death in his cave. He snuck in through ice melt, down a chute, caught a ice an ice pillar, and then slid down in through this side cave into Icing Death's lair, and then sprang upon him, killing him with what was his hammer's name? Aegis Fang.
No, wasn't it pink at one time?
Is that what it's? I don't know. Anyone in chat knows?
I'm pretty sure in the book he one-shots the dragon.
Yeah, like it's full on just boom, because it was the special hammer. I think it was called Aegis Fang, which is like shield knife tooth. So it was something that was forged with a part of Brunor's life force in it too. Like it was a weird, not weird. I mean, it was kind of cool. But I think it was a magical hammer that he struck down the dragon because he snuck up and hit him. So the Ragged tribesmen. The reason you know so much detail about that is because any Ragged you've ever met is more than happy to tell you that story, because it's a badass story about their king sneaking in and bopping a dragon on the head and taking out one massive ally for the necromancer Akar Kessel.
So that's that brings up something else. If he was the king, do they have a king now, or have they kind of splintered back?
The Elk tribe? Yeah. Yeah, so the Ragged overall do not, but over the past century, the Ragged have largely consolidated into like 4 tribes. The two most powerful of which are the tribe of the Elk and the tribe of the Bear. The tribe of the Bear are the ones that you guys have been facing. They're bit of a handful. The tribe of the Elk over the last little while have not been as welcoming and friendly with the 10 towns as they have in past, but they're not belligerent. They're not actually fighting a war with them. The king that you guys learned, current king, is where is he?
Note on that, didn't I?
Yeah, and I think this is the notes I was looking for. I thought I made a cheat sheet for myself. Jarrand Elkhart.
Yes.
Jarrand Elkhart is the king of the Elk tribe, and then his Mjolnir Tormhalt is the shaman. And it was Mjolnir's son is the one who died at the hands of that the girl. And the girl's name was Hedron. Hedron Arnsfirth. the daughter of a local tribesman, another member of the elk. So if the White Witch is who you suspect it is, then she's actually a member of the elk tribe who has aligned herself with the bear, and with whatever other forces that are at play here. What I was going to say is his Wolfgar's story is also emblematic of the barbarian sort of what the ragged tribesmen feel is best in a warrior. They don't have the notion of like there are like one-on-one combats between ragged tribesmen for sure, for places of honor and things like that. Very much like what like Viking duels would be. But that's between those members of that culture. They're not with everyone else. They are not above sneaking in for, night attacks or things like that, raids. These are not like, let's line up an army and go in. They may do that by virtue of numbers or being forced by some, ulterior or exterior force. But that's not typically how they fight. They don't fight in formations and whatnot. They're just, they go in and fight as a motley horde, or they fight with guerrilla tactics. Because they can disappear into the glacier, the tundra, as easily as what a ranger could.
Okay. So they don't have the equivalent of the elite Huskars, King's Guard sort of thing.
They probably do, but I mean, like, that's not a military unit you're going to deploy, though, right? Like, that can't make an army.
Yeah, it's okay. So they are barbarians.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So do we even bother with Bryn Shander, or do we just change our minds, go find that guy, use him as a guide to get us to...
Now, again, just to be clear, I'm not trying to force you guys one way or the other. I just want to make sure you've got a clear idea of what you're trying to achieve there. And if what you're trying to achieve is find out what happened to Devessa Shane, that's a reasonable question. You guys don't know what happened to her.
Yeah. I think that's a first step.
But
I think maybe going
just because that's something you can do, what are you going to get from that?
Well, I'm voting for Bryn Shander.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what the ultimate goal is.
If the ultimate goal is to stop the White Witch and her dragon, how do we do that? Let's work back from that. What do we need in order to accomplish that? We need allies. We need some kind of means to destroy the dragon and or her. We don't know what those are. So since we don't know what those are, we need to find out what those are.
Well, from a professional soldier's point of view, you also need logistics, supplies, and information.
That's assuming you're fighting a traditional war.
Yeah.
But if we're going to do what Wolfgar
even for a non-traditional war, but
if 8 of us are going to sneak in and just defeat a dragon, and that's going to end everything, in a historical parallel to what's happened in the past. And not to metagame, but this isn't a miniatures mass army thing. So maybe we're thinking about all these big allies and stuff. Maybe we should be thinking about adventure heroes and us doing.
Yeah, but there's multiple things in play at once. So I think the nearest place to is Bryn Shander. So find out what's going on there, and then I would have said probably the next thing is try and rescue the tribesmen from Evermelt. And to be honest, we don't have that many supplies for such a long trek.
Yeah.
Because Evermelt's quite a long way away. So if we are going to go and do something in the wastes, we're going to have to stock up with a lot of supplies.
Our guide to Evermelt just went to the Dwarven Valley.
Yeah.
Well, we can always go back and pick them up, but yeah. Well, I'm voting for Bryn Shander to find out what's happening.
Assuming he survives.
Former speaker. Because she'll probably have an idea of what's going on.
Assuming he survives, though.
She.
Oh, he's talking about the guide.
Talking about the guide.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was talking about the former first speaker.
So Andrew and Arlen, you guys have look like you've been in deep thought here. What are you guys thinking?
Oh, I don't know if I'm much help here.
I'm gonna let Andrew go first.
Thanks.
Another thing too, guys, like the spinning wheels is a bad thing when you're not making a decision, but this kind of stuff, talking about this is, I think, helpful. This is It's useful so that everyone knows why you're doing what you're doing, and you're in a, you know.
Like, I don't want to, like, I feel it's kind of like going around and being really indecisive, but I think that in this case, it is abundant. It's very not clear what the next step is, and I don't want us to just jump to what seems like an obvious choice, or just jump to something to do for the sake of doing something. Because if we don't have a goal, we don't have an outcome that we can build off of, then we've just wasted time. I would like to try to rescue Hengar, but he's so far away. And with winter settling in now, my understanding anyway, that's going to be increasingly difficult. And yet there's still, like, you know, Cola's visions about the tower and, you know, that whole thing. But that's probably much longer term yet.
I'm also wondering over here is maybe winter won't end if we don't hurry up and finish it off.
Well,
there could be if her power grows stronger. I mean,
isn't that what your vision was, Cockerel? And your God-granted vision was?
It wasn't exactly that, but it was basically this thing could threaten the entire world, not just this place.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Whoever that was.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm not very helpful here.
Yeah,
but
Falkworld thinks practically we should, you know, get as many allies as we can and face her off that way. But the adventure in me is like we just need to go and we need to take her out. But we need supplies.
Well, and the thing I'll point out to, like, one thing that Mo is I think is thinking of here too. This isn't, to be clear, like, I'm running this like a sandbox where the rest of the world is not on your side necessarily, right? Like, they're doing and pursuing their own interests in the same way we've seen over the past 28 sessions. There's not a key point where, like, suddenly everyone will necessarily be on your side, right? Like, there's not going to be a point where, like, oh, now they're blah, 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 and they're going to align with your things. You're dealing with imperfect allies here and with a lot of different problems that are going on. So, you know, it's good to be thinking of stuff a little bit in the terms of the game, but the thing I found compelling about this adventure in the first place is that there's this kind of unsolvable problem of trying to find what's the ideal, like, okay, this is sort of in a position here, and this seems to be all right here. What I can tell you is, do you, like, and I don't know whether this is what you're thinking of, but do you think it would be ever the case where all the people in the Icewind Dale would ally and then march on the Queen?
Oh no, that's never going to happen.
No. At best, it's a defensive war, right? And the thing is that she has suffered a defeat right now at your hands. Do you think that's going to prevent her from coming back?
It might cause her to hesitate.
Slow her down.
Who else does she have as an ally, or at least claims that she's got as an ally?
That necromancer we were fighting.
Well, maybe she doesn't know what happened to him.
But that's not any evidence you have of anything, do you? You're just speculating.
Just speculating, yeah.
Yeah. So speculation based on what you know is helpful. Speculation based on just, like, you know, what ifs is probably not.
Okay, so then that's a good point. What do we know about the necromancer and the relationship between it and
hang on a second.
And the Queen?
Go ahead, Cole.
Well, that was it. That's my question. What do we know? What do we 100% for sure know about the necromancer, his activities and actions, and how that related to the Queen?
Well, what did the necromancer?
Witch?
Who did it claim to be?
Oh gosh, what's his name?
Castle.
Yeah,
right.
Castle.
That's my necromancer.
So if the necromancer claimed to be Akar Kessel and was raising undead in the dwarven community to cause discord and whatnot, and is then defeated, it's not going to just go away. It's not off the board. What would you do if you were defeated and you still had a long-term play? You'd probably retreat and regroup and strengthen up.
Let me ask this, guys. While the necromancer was causing trouble underneath it, what else was going on?
A civil war.
Right. And was the undead affecting both sides?
No.
Which suggests what?
The necromancer was working on the side of the Hammerstones. Because it was only affecting the Silverstream side.
The black ice has something to do with it, I think. It all comes back to that black ice.
And it doesn't necessarily... did you find anything that suggested that the necromancer was on the side of the Hammerstones, or were they just both working towards the same end?
Or just their own independent ends that happened to... I think it was circumstance more than any intentional sort of allegiance. In fact, Hammerstone didn't even really seem to... Like, we never talked about the undead with Hammerstone. We never
came up.
Never came up. So...
They didn't know. Really.
No. And they were happening on completely opposite sides of the valley. Right? So I don't think they were related at all. And, yeah. Okay.
But the necromancer claimed
I think there's a distinction between whether they were related or whether they were involved.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I just meant there was no intentional...
Yep.
The necromancer also claimed to have allies, and we've also seen that the White Witch is riding an undead dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's probably a higher correlation than Hammerstone the necromancer.
Tom's going to point out there may be more than one faction, not necessarily working hand in glove.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they may do each other favors, but not.
Hold on, but let's not.
They're on the same side. But,
what evidence do you have of that, Thomas?
That's just the way the world works.
That's not an answer. That's no evidence. Then.
That's
no. What politics. You're looking for is evidence that you guys have come across of that. If there isn't any evidence, then it's just pure speculation.
Which, I mean,
muddies the water. Stick with what we know.
Yeah, after discussing this, I think we should make our way towards the Evermelt, possibly going past Caer Dineval and Caer Konig, just because we know the black ice was sent there, and then there's maybe before the river or lake completely freezes through, we could get a little jump start past that pass there.
Here's probably a dumb question that I missed completely. Where are we right now, physically?
On the map, right? You're about a day's travel outside of Bryn Shander.
Okay, that's actually there. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be double tracking a bit, isn't it? Because I thought we were just at the north end or the eastern end of the Dwarven Valley.
So the easiest way at this time of year to get and to avoid any, a chance of getting lost, is take the east way. Exactly. Yeah. But there's also a point that you need supplies. Though your guide is, if you're looking for the guide to Evermelt. It is the person who's back in Dwarf. Well, and I can assume that this conversation is happening before you guys left. We didn't have the benefit of having Gorwin and Cola there, so I'm not too fussed about you guys changing your mind as to where you're sending your refugees. So then, what the things you've learned then? What does that change? What do you get out of going to? Because you're right that there are things you will gain out of going to Bryn Shander, but do the things you gain put you in a better position towards your overall goal?
Well, one, we need supplies.
Yeah, we could pick those up in the valley just as easily.
We also need to see if we can find out if Caer Dineval and Caer Konig have political changes recently, because the East Way, so that's several days' supplies, and literally all we had was enough to get us from the Dwarven Valley to Bryn Shander. So we need to plan for a much longer journey.
I don't know. I have 10 days worth of rations, so I could share some if we don't need to.
Yeah, I think we need a bit more than that, but so that's 2 days rations for the party.
Yeah, but again, if we're near the valley, I think we can rectify that fairly simply.
How long?
How
long to Red Run? Or to
East Haven?
East Haven if we take the east way, Kev?
From Brinchander to East Haven,
Depends
in
on the
this this weather, take you about 2 days.
So allow for 4.
If we had one of the Ragged guides, could they get us overland, kind of the short route from the Dwarven Valley to Caer Dineval,
Yeah.
like John has showed?
Yeah, probably. At least the chance of getting lost. This is a really kind of unprecedented winter, so that there's not a guaranteed thing, but it certainly would be better. And the thing that would be more likely that they would know that route is because Caer Dineval and Caer Koenig are both founded by former Ragged tribesmen too. So there's a kind of an after the last war, a lot of them against what's his name? Acker Castle. Many of the warriors from the Elk tribe settled there. During the war, I think both Caer Dineval and Caer Koenig were both destroyed like 100 years ago by some of the tribes of orcs that came down Icewind Pass. And then it was afterwards that they settled there. So,
Okay, so that's the plan. Question is, do we spend a night or so in Brinchander to stop?
hold on. If that's the plan, is that, guys? Let's just let everyone.
I get the consensus. So are we going to?
Hold on, Mo. Just you gotta wait till everyone agrees to that. That's fine. Is that what you guys are agreeing to?
After sitting down and talking about it, I feel the best method is just to get to Evermelt and be an adventurer and be a hero and take it on like that. So the shortest route would be my vote. So overland.
So to be clear, what we're talking about is when we meet these refugees, we have this discussion, and we decide rather than going to Bryn Shander, we go back to the Dwarven Valley, take them under our guard, essentially, back there. The one who offered to take us all the way to Evermelt, we use him as a guide to try to get to Caer Dineval, and then head out to Caer Koenig, and then up along this way towards the Evermelt, right? That's what we're all talking about.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah. Me too.
Yep.
What
are you, Lex?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think after what we've discussed, I don't think changing the politics in Bryn Shander is really going to have a big effect on this.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they don't have a giant standing army. They don't have any kind of resources to really lend into defeating our foe. We need to just go do it ourselves. Be the heroes we were always looking to be.
Okay. So then, the plan is to go to the edge of the Dwarven Valley and get. I mean, you guys have enough for you guys and your guide. You would definitely have enough supplies just to get to. Is it Caer Koenig or Caer Dineval is the closest?
Yeah,
Caer Dineval.
This one,
yeah. Yeah. So it would probably take you guys about 3 days overland, just because it's with the weather and the going through the more rugged foothills under Kelvin's Cairn. But that will be, you've got more than enough to get yourself there. If you're traveling to the edge of the Dwarven Valley too, that means you could probably escort the refugees there too, and there would be no chance of, or if they do run into anything else, if any other predators are stalking them, you guys could keep them safe.
If we're going back that way, it makes sense.
Okay.
We can also maybe have an overnight stop at the mouth of the valley just to warm up a bit, and then strike out the next morning.
Yeah.
If we're having this before I prepare spells, I can try and make our path a little quicker, just by calling on Solinar's blessing.
Sure. What are you thinking?
I got the spell Easy Road. It'll give us 5 hours of basically our movement speed increased in by 50% movement increase, and minor accidents don't occur. It won't stop a random encounter, but I can prep spells and just speed our way there over the course.
Sure. So what's the duration? What spell are you talking about?
Easy Road.
Easy Road. Okay. Let's see what it does.
Compendium
5.5,
1,
I think you said.
page 233.
233. Okay, so I think
Or
it's
have you?
probably
Does it last longer now?
It's
Last
5 hours.
longer now. You think?
5 hours per casting, and I can cast several of them.
Okay.
So does our guide need armor, swords, and stuff? Oh no, it's an old man, wasn't it?
So
Sorry.
one thing, it doesn't. Yeah, it only the thing that's the most important for that one is it's 1 mile of road per level.
Yep. So I get 5 miles, I believe.
Right. You guys are probably traveling. I mean, your travel is about half of your movement, so you'd have to do 2, let's say.
Well, yeah,
per day.
I'm preparing 3.
Normally, you can travel about 24, like in good conditions, about 24 miles per day. You can travel, and then if you're going to cast 2 of those, that'll give you enough to cover the distance that you will. Unfortunately, like you're traveling at half speed.
Yeah.
Due to the weather conditions, and then, although if that increases it by 50%. Yeah, okay, so then, well, see, that cuts, you'd need 3 then.
Yep. That's what I think.
Okay, awesome.
Sweet.
Okay, so then, guys, see what happens. Oh, so I already rolled for the random encounters for today, and much to your DM's chagrin, the trip is uneventful. So, you guys reach back, and when you guys arrive with, at, the outpost at the start of or the entrance to the Dwarven Valley, Paldranor answers the door and he sees you and he sees all these refugees behind him and he says, "I thought you were going to Bryn Shander. You bringing more strays in?"
Change of plans.
All right, they're with you then, I take it.
Yes, remnants of the Elk tribe.
They're not from the 10 towns then.
Nope, they were turned away at Bryn Shander.
Hoi. Well, we can't have them die outside. Come in, come in. And he brings all of you guys are able to get in there. Do you bring Paldranor up to speed as to what you've learned?
Yeah.
Okay, so he will send a runner or I'll send 2 runners to be sure, because the thing is a little dangerous to go back to the Dane, so that the Dane's aware of what's happening.
Always send Bastard back and do the message.
Yes, asshole. I love it. He's got the continually new nicknames.
I couldn't remember what you were calling him before.
Oh no, I love more the idea of you dipping into English slang for it. Where's Bell End? All right. So then, I think Asshole came back already, didn't he? Yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. So you could send. I mean, if you're overnighting, he could get there, deliver the message, and get back in with more than enough time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anything you guys want to ask about or talk to Paldranor about, or do we skip through to the next day?
I think we just have a good meal with him, and maybe a bit of reminiscence and a few beers.
Sure. That's he's always happy to have the excuse.
Does that stock up Cola's ring? Actually, thinking about it.
Oh yes. Yep. I mean, I don't think Cola's used anything. Oh,
I haven't used anything yet, so it still has its charges.
Oh, actually, Cola and Lex, I think we got 200 GP extra. Did we?
I wasn't there.
The party loot.
All right, well, you should be.
Yeah, we were given 200 GP reward. Well, that was a week ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you guys, you guys would have gotten that as well too.
Oh,
that was
for
helping secure the Dale drop.
Yeah.
By we still have our rams, right? We're riding.
Yep.
Okay, so we can carry gear on the rams for tents and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
I kind of assume we got that. We got Islehead as well, I think.
Yep.
I've got a spell because Solinar grants the travel sphere. I can actually lighten our load by 50% for 5 hours at a time. So if we need to do that, we can overstock it.
Well, we've got.
So that's actually going to be enormously helpful for getting to Evermelt. Then, to be honest, if you've got access to some of these spells that will help lighten the load.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me pull it up here. Light and load.
Glad you mentioned the gold. That was like I had 5 silver pieces.
Pretty much, we can do a pile of objects, volume equivalent to 10-foot cube. After that, it can be divided and carried by different people.
Okay.
And yeah.
Oh,
It's
you okay, Mo?
So it'll...
Oh, you okay there, Mo?
No, it's okay.
Okay. I just heard an ow.
When we have a break, I'll go and talk to the nurse station about getting some painkillers. It's okay.
Why don't we take our break early then? If you're getting pain, that's I don't want you to be suffering through. Why don't we take our comfort break early? You can go talk to the nurses. We'll come back in 5 minutes. I can hear Anna screaming at someone outside, so I'm going to go check on the dog anyway, see what she's up to. Okay, so we'll be back in 5 minutes, folks.
Feels good being high enough level to use some of my traveling spells now. It's warm at my house.
Right.
It's already 11 a.m. and 87 degrees outside. Jeez.
Yeah, it was pretty much 90 for a couple of days last week.
That's
In the UK, that's hot.
It's 30.5 for you Celsius folk.
It's going to be 104 this afternoon.
Oh yeah, we're expecting highs here too. Of course, I'm wearing long sleeve and flannel, so I just asked for it. So.
Oh man, that sounds like such a bad idea to be wearing right now.
Well,
I'm just literally
okay.
coming into this conversation now, though, so I have no idea the context.
Okay, yeah.
yeah, my logic on it is, I'll be able to take it off later and still feel cooler because of it.
Fair. I can't. There would be no way with the humidity we've got right now for me to be able to do it. Plus, we were doing. I baked bread this morning.
Bad idea on a hot day.
And then we did the cooking for the whole dinner and lunch for the week. That oven's been going pretty much all morning, so it was bad in here. But it needs to be done. I mean, we got to do the cooking.
Mm-hmm. Jeez. Wish there was an outlet for the oven heat, so you can just shunt it outside instead of letting it in the house.
We're moving soon, so and the new place has central air, which will make
I've got central air. It does
much bigger difference. Plus, actual ways to open up, the doors at the front and back of the house to have an actual channel. Whereas these windows, there's a big tree right outside the window, and it doesn't matter if it's cold outside. Nothing comes into the apartment at all.
Yep. Suggestion for central air though: if your blower motor goes out in your furnace, you're not going to get air anywhere. So get a backup air conditioner for a single room, so you can hold up until it's fixed.
Oh, well, I'm gonna be keeping this inside.
Good.
Air conditioner. Yeah, for sure. I do not sleep well in humidity.
Me either.
But I actually do have to get the furnace. Right now the blower's working, but I have to get it serviced because the home inspector wasn't able to test the heat. So I got to get that thing looked at for the heat exchange before the fall really settles in anyway.
Fun. Oh, so game-related note, since I'm doing these traveling spells, I won't be able to heal as often. So, yeah.
I will stock up. Let me see.
Okay.
I mean, I've still got 3 cure lights and two cure moderates in my list, but
I've got 2 cure lights.
All right, guys.
3 cure
You're gonna
moderates,
call this
Hey,
ring for him
there's
as well.
Steve.
So,
and I've got my ring in an emergency. Yeah.
So, guys, just 1 second here. So, Steve the NPC asks, is anyone getting notifications about live broadcasts? He's still not. So, Steve, you can actually set the notifications when you go on the bell icon of the thing. So, it may be that, I'm not sure if you had been getting them before and not getting them now, but they may have made a change in the notifications. So,
I didn't get it either. And I'm signed up for notifications, so.
Oh, weird. You know what? Actually, mine hasn't been popping up. I'll take a look on the channel and see if there's something that I've fucked up in. Because what's happened, I know that they've. This is not really of interest to anyone apart from YouTubers, but the way that they set up the live stream things is now different. And then I still always, there's 2 ways you can access the classic way of setting up your stream for how it's going to be broadcast, and there's a new one as well too, and I don't know if they've changed anything in the classic that doesn't send notifications. So if that's the case, Steve, I will make sure I fix that. So thank you for letting me. Oh, you set it to all, turning it off and on again. Okay, then you know what? Oh, and Fred says he usually gets them, but not today. So you know what, guys? I'll later today I'll take a look and see if there's something I fucked up. More often than not, the problem is between keyboard and chair. So I will. I'll see what I have screwed up there and try and make sure that goes live next time. So sorry for that. All right, guys. So then, and I was thinking when we were away too. You know the to give you a clear idea of just how I'm interested more in making sure that you guys have a collected sort of goal in mind for this. You know what I prepped all this morning? Everything about Bryn Shander. So I spent the whole fucking morning prepping about Bryn Shander. So
why just say something?
No, because the thing is, I'm not really. I'm always more interested in going where the things you guys do have purpose. You know, like one of the We've been really, really good with this campaign anyway, but reading with the last couple of nights running one-shots instead too, thinking more about like, okay, so every session is a nice self-contained, like there's an arc to it, there's a satisfaction, and you achieve stuff by the end of that. I just wanted to make sure that rather than sort of bopping around hoping something would happen, particularly when you've seen other things happen, that we all have a sense of purpose of what you guys are doing and why you guys are doing it. And if that means that I just need to, dip into some other stuff, I'm much more interested in seeing a good overall momentum to the campaign rather than just indulging the bullshit stuff that I happen to have prepped.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Plus, I never throw away any good DM. You never throw away prep. Like that shit's getting used at some point.
Well, and I
Yeah,
assume
we're going to be
we'll
back at British Chandler at some point, I think.
Or it's going to be reskinned to be, Sharn or, somewhere in Traveler. Like, it's easy to repurpose this stuff. Our session we ran on Friday was an adventure originally written for the Solomon Kane RPG. So,
Well, last.
Yeah.
That is Conan with the serial marks filed off and set in a different time scale.
Precisely. So, all right, guys. Then, your evening passes. Okay, so it looks like we got some healing done for Tom. Lex is still down by 5. He'll heal 1 overnight. But does anyone have any spells left over?
Overnight.
What's that?
I thought it was your level. Level overnight.
No, not in AD&D.
Not in AD&D.
Oh, right.
Pathfinder it is. But Pathfinder's easy mode.
Yeah, Valkyro's got the healing proficiency, so he'll heal 3 though.
Okay, in that case, I would
What's
have
that?
on 30.
D&D is easy mode.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm kidding.
Sorry to my players if you're watching, but
No. Having run both Pathfinder and 5e recently too, like you're just not trying hard enough if your players aren't scared of dying. Like it's easy to do.
I have been cranking up the tension in my battles, and I've been noticing some positive results in terms of like, we're here to play, folks.
Speaking to further fight, this is a non sequitur, and then we'll get back to the game. But because I think Andrew, you might be the only one who may have backed this. Deep Magic for 5e, everything for North America has been shipped, and they've paid the Canadian customs.
Nice. I missed that one. I missed. I've placed a pre-order through 401 Games in Toronto for their for the Tomb of Beasts 2.
Okay, cool.
I missed out on the Kickstarter for both that and the Deep Magic, unfortunately.
Deep Magic, it's worth, especially if you're running a 5e stuff. It definitely would be. I've only got the Pathfinder version and the 13th Age version, and it's fucking crazy. Like it's.
Okay. Well, 401's got that one on available for pre-order too.
Oh, sweet.
Things are going to be financially tight for a little while.
Yeah, I know. Fucking moves, man. I understand that.
With that and buying my first home, and it's just like, oh god. But eventually, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Then, go ahead, Mo.
No, you need to play fairly aggressively, and some of the adventure paths can be pretty killy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had we're doing Asland.
Yeah.
Higher level. If you just caught one of them monster in the wrong party and they catch you, you can have 3 characters down like that.
Oh, I imagine.
And it's down to the last character to get everyone out.
Jeez. You need to rebuild.
It's kind of like Barrack.
3 hit points tonight. Okay, so I would be on 32 then.
You be on 3?
I think. No, I was just Falcarel just mentioned that they have healing proficiency.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, right. 3 per night. Right. So then Lex is still down by 5. Does anyone... Right, Lex, actually, you would have gained 2 more because of Falcarel's healing. Does anyone want to spend
But it doesn't stack, right?
No. What? No, it does not stack. No, just someone treating someone with healing.
As long as Cola or Falcarel are with you, you would always gain that extra when you're sleeping.
Yes. Yeah, as long as they're providing their menstruations and whatnot.
I'll spend a cure light on him before the night's over.
Nice.
He's only down 2.
Well, no, you're not.
He had the spell left over, I think, anyway. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay, then, guys. Next day, morning comes, and you guys are heading out. Let's give a name. Did we give a name to your guide yet?
Yeah, we did, but I'm trying to find it.
Other asshole?
No.
Actually, does he need extra furs and stuff because they were refugees and maybe not in the best shape?
If the dwarves are offering, or if you guys are offering, then absolutely, he'll take that. Ragnar, does that sound familiar?
Yes.
It does actually, yeah.
Okay. I can usually trust that, my sensibilities, because I think I've named What was your character's name yesterday, Arlen?
Sir Varys.
Yeah, I think I've named 3 characters Varys in the course of the time I've played Conan, just because I like that name an awful lot. And it's a suggested Aquilonian name from the core rulebook. Okay, so then, guys, the next morning, you and Ragnar, if the dwarves offer to outfit him with some weaponry as well, too. So he's got battle axe that he'll be bringing with him. Although he's really not, he's more of a hunter than he is a combatant. So he's going to try and keep himself out. It's funny, John, every time you tip up in the corner there, I think someone new is joining the game.
I misclicked my mouse.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so then, guys, next day you guys get up and you head out. There's a bit of a tearful goodbye between Ragnar and his the rest of the surviving group. Well, not so much tearful. The Ragged are quite stoic people, but they see him off. And you guys start making your way through. Now, Falcro, you're going to cast some spells, I hear?
Yes. If we got our gear, I'll just light and load for the next 5 hours, so it's half weight.
Okay.
And then I'll do the easy road. Well, actually, I don't think easy road will help because I need an actual road to cast it on. So if we're going overland, that won't help.
Yep. Because roads, where you're going.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Well, when we're going from Caer Dineval to Caer Konig, probably use that.
Yeah, I do tell everyone that I'm prepping some endure colds, so if things get really bad, I can take a little bit of the bite off the
Well, we can always hunker up in a tent.
Yeah.
And I would assume the tribesmen know how to make effectively ice
Yeah, it's
igloos, to
most
use
of those
the
on,
crude term, but
for whoever's on sentry.
yeah.
Okay. So what you guys hear is while you're talking about heading down to Lac de Nashir, have you guys heard of the story of the ghost of Lac de Nashir? Anyone have any... no one's actually from here. Gorwin, you may have. Why don't you give us a... Oh, yeah, you're from here. Sorry, Cola. Sorry. It's, now that you've been cast out by your
it's not
clan.
like they had an entire story arc related to that very
Well, I think because you were so quick to throw yourself into the Battlehammer clan that I just assumed that you forgot everything you knew about. So then, Cola, there's a chance you might give me an intelligence check, and Gorwin, you can give us a ancient history with -4. Just because it's going to be, I mean, your focus, I think, was not folk tales around the Icewind Dale, so...
So I do not make it.
Do not make it, okay.
Where the heck is my... I don't have any things near...
No, you can't, the character sheet doesn't have that. You're just going to have to roll a
so I just got to
D20.
roll and add?
Yeah, and then just take whatever your intelligence is and roll, you want to roll below that, or equal to it below.
Right.
Nice.
That's definitely... Yep.
So yeah, you've heard. So what the story is that an explorer once came to East Haven to find his fortune after leaving his wife behind in Luskan, promising to return to her a rich man. The adventurer met with many hazards on his journey, but the thought of his wife waiting for him always gave him strength to persevere. Finally, after having made his fortune, the man sought to take the next caravan home, only to have it arrive in East Haven, bearing a note from his wife, written from her sickbed in the hours before her death. The young man never returned home. He stayed in East Haven, where it said his wife's ghost sometimes walks out along the lake, calling for her husband to return. Finally, one night when he heard her calling, he loaded his fortune onto a boat, rowed out into the middle of the lake, where he was finally reunited with his beloved, a rich man, just as he promised. Locals say that the woman's ghost still wanders the lake on some nights, and they call her the White Lady. Rumors have that she haunts the spot where her husband met his end. And a few brave souls have followed the vision of the White Lady in hopes of finding the adventurer's sunken treasure. But thus far, none have returned. So as you're setting out into Lake Dinashir, be aware that there are secrets lurking beneath. And fang dragons. Then, let's see what happens during the day. Yeah, sideways. It's It's a slightly different colored yellow exclamation mark above someone's head. That's more just a little bit of background color for you. Okay, so the trip itself, while at initial, it is not easy going, but it's oh yeah, and you don't have the spell, so it's very challenging. I think Lex and Falcarel, you're having a little bit better of a time of it, just because you're used to spending time in difficult and exposed situations. Someone give me a D20 roll, please. Ooh, okay.
Waiting on the weather.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't really need the weather in this campaign. It's snowing. It's snowing. The wind is blowing. It's terrible. All right. So you guys make camp for the first evening. And
I think one of my new spells is going to come into play. Level 3, create campsite.
oh, nice. So do you want to look for kind of natural shelter, or are you just going to rely on that spell?
Oh no, we should definitely look for natural shelter, but it basically makes setting up very easy.
Sure. Dave, you're the resident Pure Ranger here. Why don't you give us a percentile roll? Yep, you're able to find something. These are foothills, so there's all sorts of weird, natural topographical features that suddenly provide some kind of break in the wind and the snow. So you're able to get into a little cleft in the side of one of these cliffs that seems to have the wind, where the wind blows up to it but not through it. You guys set yourself up in there, and then what is the spell you're using, Falcarel?
Basically, the only mechanical effect it's a create campfire, page 153 of Pendium 1.
Okay.
It basically just makes the campsite 50% less noticeable by anybody outside. Campfires and loud noises will still affect everything.
Oh, okay. So does it actually create a campfire, or?
Yeah, it doesn't create a campfire. It basically little invisible fairy servants come around and clear the area for us and set up our tents and whatnot, and kind of camouflage it a bit.
Okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. So what is that precisely what we see?
Yes.
Falcarel walks up and says a prayer, and then this whole area is cleared out for you guys.
Yeah, a 50-foot radius area.
Nice.
Does that
Okay,
make it
cool.
like a Disney campsite? Like,
We don't actually see anything doing it.
This
Just
campaign is
like-
taking a weird turn, guys.
bunch of
Why are they
bunch of
talking
local-
mice?
Cinderella's fairy godmother and them, they all show up and
And the verbal component of the spell is that Falco has to actually
Bippity
sing to
boppity.
the birds to get them to do it.
Yes.
Hey, I get to use my
Well,
travel
Oh,
well,
God.
they're probably cute stoats or something that
Yeah.
are running around doing things.
They're invisible, guys.
Do you have a cleanup
Oh, God.
campsite spell as well that looks like a mop and a broom that like dance around? around?
Yeah, it cleans up after itself. After we
Oh man.
it takes 8 rounds for it to happen.
Okay.
Guys, it's been wonderful playing with you. But now that our pending lawsuit from Disney
Yeah.
is on its way, just wanted to say it's been nice.
Oh God. This is really, now you guys are finally picking up that this is just a reskinned Frozen that I'm running.
No. Oh my God! And you named someone Ola or Olaf.
Took you guys long enough.
Hey, Falcaro, would you like to build a snowman?
No.
Oh no.
I don't know. I got stats for Ice Golem, guys. Let's do it. It'll beat the shit out of you guys.
Yeah,
All right.
look, and impaled.
So that evening, so you guys, what it does is that spell does clear down. I love the visual idea of that spell too. That's pretty cool. So it's cleared out, and you guys have enough space to get yourself set up. It's definitely not pleasant, but it is a welcome change. This is definitely exhausting travel for the lot of you guys. The evening, I was before we got caught up in our exposition song from Falcro explaining the plot or the characters. Let's see here.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
I freaking love this game.
You and me both.
Take that spell, really, but somebody with a travel sphere? Yeah, okay, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the spell. I was just teasing you.
Okay.
We haven't done much overland travel anyway, so.
Too much of my childhood has been absorbed by cartoons made by one company.
Yeah. Well, I think the one I've seen the most is actually a Bluth film, Secret of Nim.
Oh,
I've seen it so many times.
Also now owned by the same company.
Yeah, it's true, I guess. Monolithic Entity. I'm really looking forward to the Secret of Nim and Aliens crossover. It's going to be pretty badass.
Oh, man.
You know?
Oh, no.
Have Mrs. Brisby and the Alien Queen both as the Disney princesses.
Yeah, that Secret of Nim.
Good stuff.
Intense when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, it's.
I read the book. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that the Queen is the princess. She's the evil stepmother, surely.
Depends on who you're.
Well,
All the evil stepmothers just start as princesses, of course.
Mhm.
That's the natural life cycle of female characters.
It's
in Disney.
meet Prince Charming, inevitable divorce, descent into bitterness and drinking, evil stepmother.
Exactly.
So-
I'm now imagining an I want spell. By the alien queen.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, right. So we get the campsite set up.
So a campsite
I
is
assume
set up.
we've got
The
the
evening.
set up around the campfire. Right.
All right. Let's see here, guys.
Watch rotor, I think, next, guys.
Where is it? Where is it? Great. Hmm. All right, so guys, you are set up the. Is there anything you guys wish to do in the evening?
Maybe we could talk to Rhaegar about the route to
Ragnar.
Drop. Ragnar about the route after we go through Caer Dineval, Caer Konig. Are the things we need to pick up on the way?
Do you mean through the Icewind Pass?
Yeah.
We'll hunt on the way. If you need to bring supplies with you, then that's fine. But it will be crossing open land. The passage, and he kind of does this noticeable pause to look you up and down. It may prove difficult for you.
Lex nods. Bites an apple.
What about the goats?
The goats, he would suggest leaving them behind. They are not going to be. They will be noticeable, and if our intent is to go unnoticed up to Evermelt, having these with you will just be a greater chance of being spotted, or it will make you move faster. I forgot you guys were all traveling by goat. So actually, I think I'm going to let you guys. It'll only take you 2 days to get there.
Okay, well, Thomas is going to sort of pick his brains about.
Alternatively, you could tie
Culturally,
them
I
up
know
somewhere.
that they use sleds. Do they have sled dogs and that sort of?
We do,
Like
and
goats.
the goats would be good to travel, but again, they're not the best for traveling in a stealthy way. It depends on what you want to do. I mean, if we want to alert them, we're traveling through the lands of, you think we wouldn't have wanted to travel by sled dog, fleeing the bear tribe. It provides an easy way to be tracked, so we can do that. What you could alternatively do is travel part of the way towards Evermelt with the by your rams, and then tie them up. I could find them again for you, but you're leaving them exposed to the elements and things that may want to eat them out there. So, your call.
So is Lac-Dinashire iced over at this point?
Not yet. No, you're still able to travel. At least should not be.
Could we go by boat from Caer Konig up that river, then pull the boats off, and then go by foot? Could we use a sled to drag supplies? Is what I'm thinking.
Well, I'm already going to be able to lighten the load quite a bit with my spells. We may not need it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, let's cross that problem. We've still got several days travel.
Okay. So the evening otherwise passes uneventfully, and morning comes. So, guys, let's see what happens today. Okay. So, someone give me a D20 roll, please. Okay.
Getting all those low rolls out of the way, guys.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't. Oh shoot! I didn't load. I'll do this between now and next session. Is load. I've actually got when the adventure gives you individual maps of each of the 10 towns too.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. The adventure is beautiful. So what you guys doing for this day is you're about let's see here, 2 hours outside of Caer-Dineval when you come across some, and this is probably from. Oh, give me a D10 roll, somebody. See if you guys are surprised.
Okay, let me try it. I haven't done much this evening.
Okay, they are surprised. As are you.
Oh, yay.
So you're traveling along when you come across a group of about, say, 7 hunters. One second here, just quickly.
Oh. Remember, I'd have got my final hit points back. Lex, I think you'd also be on max now because we've had a night's sleep.
Okay. Sorry, guys. This is such as the peril of sandbox games. Give me a. Just want to make sure I'm doing something correctly here.
Meat shields to the front. Archers form up.
Yeah, I think we left all our dwarven colleagues behind.
Oh, now that Falco's walking around in banded mail, he doesn't feel so squishy anymore.
You may actually engage in melee.
No, that's never going to happen. Solinar is abundantly clear, especially in the last fight.
When you say that, they usually presages a vicious melee encounter.
Yeah.
So,
Better
all
than
right.
a fireball encounter.
All right, guys. So what you come across is some hunters from and it's sort of like you guys reach the top of a rise around the time that these hunters do as well, and they sort of like they're surprised to see you overland. They see that there's a ragged tribesman among you, and I think Tom is probably quite tall as well because he's quite imposing of a figure. The hunters sort of, like at first, kind of draw their bows back, and then they stop. Let's actually roll a random reaction for this. Let's see how.
Okay, if they're reacting to me, I'll hold up my bow and hands sort of sign of peace.
Okay. Damn screen.
Well, actually, I'd probably have the bow in a side, so I'd probably just.
That's okay. I've always got my bow. I'll show that no arrows.
All right. They the hunters sort of see you guys as they come over, and then they immediately look over. They see there's a dwarf among them. They see that there's some other figures, some elves, and one of them just kind of cries out, "Adventurers! They've come to help! They've come to help!" And they kind of run forward, and they're all very, very happy to see you. They're sort of patting you down. Do you have others with you? Are you bringing reinforcements?
For the ghost in the lake?
Ghosts in the lake? No! No! The pirates!
Pirates?
Yes!
So these hunters are 10 townsmen?
Yes.
Women?
Yep, they are definitely not Red tribesmen.
Luskan pirates?
Luskan pirates? Is that where they're from? No!
No, you tell me, friend. We're not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah, we've been in the Dwarven Valley the last month.
Then you're not coming here to help with the pirates? And one of the guys says, well, they're here now. I'm sure they'll help with the pirates.
Tom will explain that we were on our way to Caer Dineval.
Yes, the care is not far away.
Tell us about your pirate problem, my friend.
Well, the pirate problem started. Oh, come on. You're coming back. You're coming to Caer Dineval?
This sounds like a conversation over a nice warm fire. What do you think?
Yeah.
Lodge nearby?
The lot of the hunters all kind of look at one guy who seems to be sort of the senior one, and he kind of looks at all of them and is like, all right, let's go. And so he agrees to walk you guys back. So I don't think Cola may have been here before. So let me tell you a little bit about what to expect of Caer Dineval. So whether arriving... sorry, who's... Someone had a question?
I was going to say, Lex is from Neverwinter Wood. It's a wood that never gets cold. He's like, let's get to a fire. You can tell us about it in a minute. Let's not stand outside here. Come on.
I'll chidely just rub him with my elbow and just give him what for.
Okay. So what? Let's see here. So, in generations past, travelers to Caer Dineval had to make their way east from the hills around Bryn Shander and then cut north following the rocky shore of Lac Din Ashir until, after several weary hours, they spied a small fortress, the Caer, for which the town is named, jutting up from the prominence where it overlooked the lake. These days, visitors to the town can take the east way to East Haven and then hire a ferry to take them across the lake to Caer Dineval. Only those who have no coin to spare or who who have more than a small cart's worth of goods to transport still take that rude trail that wends its way up the lake's western shore. Whether arriving by land or by lac, that's in quotes, visitors are immediately confronted by the fortifications for which the town is famous. Its cliff-top Caer and the now ruined watchtower at the mouth of the harbor. Most of the town's buildings line the path that winds down from the steep slope from the Caer to the harbor, perched on a rocky face like cliffside nests. Newer structures have been built out along the approach coming up the western shore. The effect is that visitors entering Caer Dineval in procession, filing up the narrow streets past the buildings on either side, from which the residents watch with a mixture of interest and suspicion. If travelers do not turn aside into a shop or tavern, the road brings them to the top of the bluff and deposits them at the gate of the Caer. So that is the village that you find yourself in. If you're picturing kind of like, for the Canadian, I'm picturing some of those like Newfoundland, like cliffside villages that are just sort of, built way up the cliff sides. For Americans, I guess, like New England.
Nova Scotia.
Yeah, Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia's a lot more flat, though.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I speak from harsh experience. So, let's see here. So what you find out is that, first off, where they're going to take you is to a place called the Uphill Climb. It's a tavern perched at the top of the approach to the Caer with spectacular views of the lake and the docks below. What you find is that in the last month or so, there have been a series of vicious attacks. This time of year, the fishermen who, remember, like the primary resource of the Icewind Dale and the 10 towns at least, the reason people come up here and try and seek their fortunes are the knucklehead trout. Knucklehead steelhead. Can't remember. I keep getting that wrong. Is it knucklehead or steelhead? I think it's knucklehead, isn't
I
it?
think it's knucklehead. Steelhead's an actual fish.
Yeah, steel. That's right. So the knucklehead trout is the reason. Like, as long as they can get themselves out on the on the lake, they will keep trying to fish. The trouble is, in the last little while, there have been like seemingly out of nowhere, there is this vicious series of pirates who have suddenly arrived, who seem to disfigure themselves and are extremely aggressive, to the point where they've heard that there was a recent attack on the docks of East Haven. And like where Caer de Naval is itself only a population of about 250 souls, East Haven has 850, a much bigger community. And they've also heard that Caer Konig, up the coast, or up the coast, up the lakeshore, they also have been struck by these the pirates too. And like the lake's really not big enough. This is not like like buccaneers or things like that. These are vicious bandits that just happen to be operating on the water.
We're not talking like the Caribbean Sea where there's lots of room to go and hide. Precisely.
Like this is a relatively small thing, and it seems as if it has been everyone who's been preyed upon. Anyone who fishermen from Caer de Naval, from Caer Konig, from East Haven.
Luskin pirate army?
Don't know. The only thing. Oh, go ahead, Mo.
Well, we haven't heard they're going for the Reaver style body modifications. They're a bit more commercial, I would have imagined.
No, they have actually. There's mutilations to themselves that have been done on at least on their leader. Yeah. So that's what they're concerned about. They think that you guys are here to help them out, and what they've heard from the sole survivor, and like the trouble with the pirate attacks is not only that they may be killed by the pirates. The lac itself at this time of year, it is never really safe. It's not the kind of lake you could swim in, even in the in the summertime. But at this time of year, if you fall into the lac, hypothermia will more often than not take you before you can be rescued. So the fact that there has been one survivor, or at least the survivors from East Haven, what they've talked about is that the lead boat for this has mounted on its prow an impressive figurehead of black crystal of some kind.
That is very concerning.
Right.
Gola, how do you feel about stopping the pirates?
Oh, pirates! I'd love to. Out there on the lake. Yeah. Sounds like a fine idea. And I just like
Yes. Lactinashire is so the only reference point I think I have for it is has anyone else been to Loch Ness? No? So the thing about Loch Ness is that it's so deep that it's just jet black. It's fairly still, and it is jet black almost as soon as you get off of the shore.
Yeah.
Lactinashire is like that as well, where it's very, very deep, very, very cold. So if you fall into it, it's very, very hard to see anything beneath there.
I think the only trivia I know about Loch Ness is it's so big and deep that you could fit the entire world population to it and drown them all with room to spare.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so, and that's sort of how I'm picturing this. Like once you get out there, it's as if you're skating on a surface of blackened glass almost.
It's crazy.
So, what are you? What do you guys make of this?
Is there a militia? Can we leave it to them?
No, we've got no militia. There's only a few of us. We're fishermen. We're not fighters. That's what you came for, though, isn't it? We may be fishermen, but we're we fish the knuckleheads. We've got coin to spare. Isn't that... Wait. If you didn't come for the pirates, why did you come? Were you lost? Someone else says, they've not lost. What adventurer would get lost in the Icewind Dale? Come on.
Well, we fully intended to come here. We just didn't know what was going on here.
What were you coming for then? Wait, you weren't coming to just see the ghost, were you?
No.
No. Can I ask about the political situation? I mean, presumably the chief is in the care at the top of the cliff.
Yes. Yep.
So what time of day is it?
It is later in the day. This is the end of the day of travel.
I was going to say maybe we should send a message to the... What's the actual title we're looking for here?
They'll be the speaker.
Oh, sorry, they will have the speaker. Maybe we should send a message to the speaker.
His name is Cranach Seaver. But he's... Yeah. What is it you're trying to ask about?
Said he's but, and I pour another drink in his...
Well, hold on. So you guys, if you want to skip forward to you guys hanging out at the uphill climb, that's fine. So what was your question?
We're there, sorry.
Yep, that's okay. What's your question?
No, he mentioned the name of the speaker and then...
Yeah, Cranach Seaver.
I don't know whether that's a role-playing thing. Has the election... Do they all run their elections at the same time?
They do not.
Okay. Well, I think maybe since it's late, we ought to get some rooms and stabling and send a message to the speaker and say we'd like to speak to him in the morning.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the you guys are people that they really want to hear more about what you have to say about what you plan to do about the pirates as well. You guys are also more than you got more than enough time to try and get some information from these people. They are more than happy to talk to you guys. And in fact, the uphill climb itself is going to be packed with people.
Have they seen any more of this black? Have you seen any more of this black crystal that was on the prow of the ship?
We don't know anything. No, we haven't seen anything more than that. The black ice has been traded in here from the. There's been some who've been dwarves who've been trying to sell it down at East Haven, I hear, but no.
That's bad for you.
It's bad for.
Yeah, Lex will get into just stay away from the black ice. It's
yeah.
It gets into your head and makes you really greedy and. So bad for you.
Huh. You better keep that away from Cranach then. And they all gonna laugh.
Why, Cranach, a money-hungry speaker? What can you tell us about him?
Cranach? And they all sort of look. Cranach he runs hot. But he cares about the community.
Has he been in speaker for long?
For 10 years now.
Okay, good.
Though, boy, with the change in he seems a little bit happier now that he's got the change from now that Devessa Shane's finally gone. And they all kind of say, like, fuck her! All in one big toast.
What was the problem with Devessa Shane?
Shane didn't care about what was happening in Caer Dineval. As long as it was best for Bryn Shander, that's all she cared about. Thank the gods we've got a new one, too. Someone fresh. New ideas.
Straight out of Luskin. Gonna wear like a
shirt. Does Bryn Shander have first and equal status? Is it?
Yep. Yeah, the high speaker is from Bryn Shander.
So of course, yes, you're right.
Yeah. What was your question, Dave? Sorry.
Well, Lex was gonna say I'm not sure your needs are going to be any more well met than with the new speaker than they are with the old.
We've already heard some good arrangements.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They've already started promising new things, and we'll see when it delivers once this winter passes. But we've already heard better trade opportunities, less taxes for things heading out towards Luskan. Less taxes means more money in our pockets, and that's what we're here for. You think we're here for the weather? And everyone's going to like, laughs.
You mean you're not a fan of winter?
Fuck the winter. I wish these things we could find the knuckleheads down in a more sunny conditions. And one of the older guys is like, "Oh, it's fine. It keeps away the riffraff." And this sort of clearly this is leading into an argument that's happened 100 times before between these people. So,
and it's the same people saying the same things to the same arguments and same counterpoints. And,
and I think someone catches you, Gorwin.
When I were a lad, it was.
Yeah, exactly.
We had to catch the trout with a bare hand, and our father used to beat us up.
Gorwin, what are you doing in the tub? You don't strike me as a real like slamming back beers kind of elf.
No, I think Gorwin is
a small wine. I think
kind of doing his best to take it all in. He probably has a drink, but he's small sips very irregularly.
Does he keep books with him?
He have books with him? I don't think so.
Yeah.
He keeps it all up here.
Okay. So then the other, I mean, you guys, if you have anything else you want to try and bring up or discuss with these people, I'm happy to have. They're very happy to have you here, and they're not really, bashful with their sentiments. You hear them kind of slag Kerkonig a fair amount, and East Haven a fair amount too. Unsurprisingly, there is quite a bit of like intertown rivalry going on here. Yeah. But if you were to sort of catalog the hierarchy of grievances, definitely Devessishane and Brinchander was higher on the list than what East Haven was, and then Kerkonig is more of a rivalry than what it is with East Haven.
Well, I'm going to listen out for any. Yeah, have they heard anything about the change in power in the dwarves? I'm not going to mention anything.
If they've heard about what?
If they've heard about the civil war strife in the valley.
We haven't heard anything about that, though. If you want to speak to someone who keeps track of what's going on in the Dale, speak to Culver. He keeps track of all that stuff.
No, I was trying to do that surreptitiously, like not speak to people. Okay.
Oh, well, what? Yeah, well, I mean, that didn't happen.
Well,
you weren't successful that way. These people are many things. They are not subtle. You're gonna have to sort of get it out of them directly. Anything else you guys wish to direct the conversation towards? No? Okay. So then, you guys do have a good night's sleep. Everyone, I think everyone's at full hit points right now, which is ideal for when the attack comes in the night. You know what the best kind of mimic is? A bed-shaped mimic. Because you're already in their mouth. Just kidding. So, the morning comes, and you guys are treated to a breakfast of salted fish and some, fried bread, stiff tea. And you're actually going to be meeting with the Kranich Seaver is quite interested in meeting with you this morning. And there's a private room in the uphill climb that looks out over the over Lac de Nashir that will allow you privacy for meeting with a speaker. It's apparently his sort of like impromptu meeting room as well too. They don't have a proper hall set up the way that they do in a speaker's hall, the way they do in Brinchander. So unless there's something you guys want to do in the morning, we can cut to your meeting with Kranich.
I think maybe we need to stock up on supplies because we weren't massively endowed with it.
Yep.
I'm certainly going to buy another 2 or 3 weeks rations.
So the costs here are going to be 20% more than what they were in the player's handbook. It's because it is a smaller community and they do have to move everything in here.
And pirates.
Pirates, yeah.
I'll also talk to the bar staff in the morning. Like, is there any pattern to the pirates' attacks? Is it when you get out into the lake?
They're bar staff. They
must have heard people. Right. Okay.
Yeah, they don't. They're bar staff. Yeah.
Well, let's wait and see what the speaker says. He'll have a better idea of what's happening.
Okay.
So who's going to lead? Before we meet him, I think we have a discussion amongst ourselves about who leads, what we're going to tell them, what we're not going to tell them.
What do you think, guys?
We're going to
so hold on. Let's not talk about the conversation. Let's have that conversation. So go ahead.
Well, let's just have a.
What are you thinking, guys?
A round of coffees in the morning and say, right, what are we going to tell them? What are we not going to tell them, guys? So he opens the meeting.
Well, basically, they think very much about the new leadership in Brinshander. So I don't know how much we want to push the Luskin issue.
Well, we can say that we were there. It's happening. I was just really wondering whether we mentioned that the leadership has changed in the Dwarven Valley and there'll be no more black ice, or do we just keep that complete stum?
Do we need to tell them anything?
Cola's real name.
I would warn them about the effects of the black ice, how we've been noticing it, and we're coming here pretty much to find out where it's going, and also using that as our means to get there. But we don't need to mention where we're going. But we should definitely warn them about the black ice. And if the pirates have it, I mean, that's going to be our foot in the door.
Okay, so we're going to be quite open about that then.
Maybe just about its effects on people.
Yeah, not about supply.
Yeah, I don't think we need to tell them anything about the Dwarven Valley.
Yeah.
Okay, that works for us. I think.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna find out eventually what's going on in the valley anyway. And then because the thing is, if we start asking or volunteering all this information, then we'll follow a bunch of questions about how do we know this and what were we doing in the valley and what's our allegiances and all this sort of thing, and then that just gets awkward.
So are we going into this conversation on the assumption that we're going to help them, or is this helping us to our greater goal?
Well, I think one of our greater goals was finding out where the black ice was going,
honestly,
for the usage of it.
The pirates are going to get in our way. If they're patrolling the lake, they're a danger to us when we try to travel to the next town.
Yeah.
Orwin?
I mean, we can just go over land to Caerconic, right?
Yep. There's a rough road. It'll be difficult traveling, but you can get there. The locals tell you though, Caerconic it's the poor man's version of Caer Dineval.
Yeah, I'm sure they think that.
Yeah.
I think we were going to use boats to go further, because I think from what we know about the area, that traveling on the lake is much easier than going by rough tracks. So we were going to go up that.
Is that actually an option? Can we take a boat up this river?
To get towards the thing, I don't think so.
Further north.
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, okay. Well, maybe a boat from Caer Dineval to Caer.
I don't know that would.
Koenig, but yeah, I mean, it's 6 of one, half dozen the other. But yeah.
What are we trying to get out of a meeting with Krennic? Right.
Okay.
Are we just telling him like, hey, the black ice is bad, don't accept any of it if it comes by here? Are we trying to like ask him? Do we want to ask him? One of my thoughts is, in keeping with the discussion about kind of the general unity of the 10 towns underneath Luskin leadership, if we need to ask something like, if Vailishgant calls the banners or whatever they do in the Icewind Dale to muster up the militia to defend the place, what are the people of this town going to do? Right? Because that'll maybe help us understand kind of. It seems like they like the new leadership enough that they would fight to defend the place alongside them, right? But we might want to ask the speaker about that specifically. That's just my thought of something that we might want to get out of the conversation with the speaker in terms of information.
Yeah, Lex is basically wondering, like, are we doing this to get information to help our overall quest, or are we looking to take a diversion and go fight pirates for a little while?
I'd rather not fight pirates just because heavy armor and water do not mix well.
Sure. And what does it do for our overall...
Especially for AD&D Second has the best rules for swimming in metal armor.
If you don't.
You don't, yeah. You sink, full stop.
And I really don't think my wee little arms and legs did so well.
Well, the trouble is, to be honest, though, the armor is the least of your worries if you fall into the lack, because hypothermia will probably take you anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and so every day that we spend wandering around doing nothing, if our goal is to get to the melt and rescue, leaders of the elk tribe and stop the dragon and the queen, every time we take on a little side diversion, we're giving them more time to bolster their defenses or do bad things.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I think there will be time to deal with pirates in the future, and besides, these people seem to be all very happy about the new arrangement in Bryn Shander. So let Bryn Shander solve its problems and prove itself to be the leader of the towns and respond to this.
Okay. So what do you want to have a meeting with Kranich then?
I don't even know if there's any point. What can he do for us to get us to the melt faster?
Well, you guys have set the meeting already, it seems, so that ball may be rolling. Is there anything you want to talk to this person about or try and get out of them?
I think what Arlen was talking about is important.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, go ahead. Now, anyone have anything else, or are we going to skip to the meeting?
Oh, no. Good to go.
Awesome. So, the room itself is really beautiful, in a kind of a, seaside town kind of way. You do have especially early in the morning too, you got this beautiful view of the lake before you. It looks both tranquil and sinister, kind of at the same time. You cannot see the far shore on it, so it just stretches. It really appears as if you're on a kind of a like the shores of an ocean almost. The sun is coming over in the east too, so it's casting a nice reflection over it. And you guys have an opportunity to sort of get yourselves comfortable until the door bursts open. And a man walks in who is probably about 5'9". He has his hair is pulled back into a ponytail, dark hair shot with gray streaks, a weathered face, a clean shaven, and has a look of perturbed, of being perturbed on his face. And as soon as he throws the door open, he walks in, stands at the front of the head of the table, puts his hands on the chair that's there, and says, "Well, I hear you want to meet then? Pirates? Is that what you're here for?" You get the sense that he's angry at you and you have no idea why. You haven't done anything. Well,
So almost
which
look
of you?
at Falcaril, because he's the lead on the Black Ice is evil.
Yeah, Falcaril is already suspecting that if this guy's not naturally belligerent like this, he's under the influence of something. And he says, sorry to bother you. We thought it'd be polite to come in and announce ourselves when we come into the town. I hear you got a pirate problem, and there's a big
Yes, we
black
have a
eye.
pirate problem. What do you want? Are you here? Are you hiring?
We're passing through, and we're tracking down shipments of the black ice, which have been causing problems elsewhere in the Dale.
What do you... I don't know anything about the black ice.
Word is that
you guys don't need to make any rolls or anything. It's pretty obvious he's lying, and really badly.
yeah, Falcor doesn't raise an eyebrow or anything. He just word is that there's a fairly sizable chunk of black ice on the pirate ship.
I don't know anything about the pirate ship that has the black ice on it. I don't know who said that. Who told you that was the case? They're liars. Whoever they are, they're liars. Wait. Who sent you here? Is this Duvessa? Is this one last gasp of her? She's gone now. She's not in power any longer. And I don't know anything about that anyway. Who sent you? Who sent you here?
We came here of our own accord. Nobody sent us.
So what is it then? What are you here for? Are you here for the black ice? It's
Yes,
out on the lake. I hear. Because I don't know anything about it.
Falcor just raises an eyebrow. He's like, it's an awful lot of denial you're sending out for no reason.
There's a good reason for it, because I don't know anything about the masthead made of black ice that was the thing you may have heard about, that I know nothing about.
I hope this is not what you look like when you do go to court.
It is not.
Well, he said, Falcor will say, well, that's unfortunate. I mean, if you knew where it came from or how they got it, we could probably be of use, but...
What do you mean of use? Are you going after the pirates? Is that what brought you here?
That's not what brought us here. We've been holed up in the...
You're not here to join up with them, are you?
Do we look like... And he puts down his armor. Do you like we do well on the ship?
Are they
He
recruiting?
carefully studies you all. No, you look like you would drown.
Yes. We were probably drowned.
From the dwarves, then. What is the dwarves' interest in this? They don't... Did they send you?
The dwarves didn't send us, but we do know some of the black ice originated in the valley.
Fancy yourself clever, do you? Hey? That's what you are? Clever elf? I've heard about your kind. Clever elves. Well, fine. All right. Fine. I bought the masthead. But I didn't know that he was going to take it. I didn't know that he was going to take it and do what he's doing. And if anyone says otherwise, they're liars.
Who's he?
Him? Who do you think? That's who you're here for, isn't it? The pirate. Derek. Shh, I knew I shouldn't have trusted him. He's been a liar since he was a kid. I mean...
There's a local, huh?
Derek? Sorry, here.
Oh, Derek.
Yeah.
You
I don't...
Did
should
you
have
need to spell it
known.
that way?
What? Yes, he's... Wait. You're not here from the merchant who sold it?
No. We're just concerned adventurers tracking down a corruptive influence.
But you're...
Who was
In
the
Dwarven-
merchant?
What? And he gives a name for it, and it's one of the merchants. It's not Von Bin, but it's one of the other merchants who had been selling black ice. He sent it here, and then, I knew I should never have been involved with this in the first place. Look at and this problem on the lake now. What? So you're here? Will you help then? You said you were here to help. Something's happened with this black ice. No, I shouldn't have bought it. I knew I should not have trusted a dwarf. I'm sorry. But this is where we... Now, he takes it, and I hear he's sewing his face closed, too. I mean, attacking East Haven? Where's the money in this?
Sewing his face closed?
He's sort of all over his place. He seems to be talking to himself at this point, too. So if you're having difficulty following what he's saying, that's where his head is right now.
Yeah. I'm just like, sewing his face closed seems extreme. Like, How long has he had
This
that
is
eye?
what I thought. But we've heard it. Something he did. He sewed it up. Why? Is this what the black ice does?
We haven't seen prolonged contact with it, but it does start turning you paranoid and suspicious and greedy and vengeful. Basically, all the negative.
What are you saying?
Well, Thomas will say it turns good men into bad men.
And what about bad men? What does it do to them?
Yeah, even worse.
I suspect it makes them worse.
If they find
Do you
out
know
that I'm
where-
behind, that I ordered that.
Well, maybe calm down. Do you know where the pirates' base is? If they've attacked East Haven?
I
Do
don't
you know if
know.
they've attacked Chair Koenig?
He gestures out at the lack. Do you know how big the lack is? How many coves there are? How many places there are to hide? And in this weather... Do you have anything? You, elven tricks, dwarven. Is there anything you know? Do you have a way to find them?
Well, I mean, you can't trust a dwarf, can you? And I kind of fold my arms.
He kind of realizes halfway through answering that, wait, you're not looking for agreement. That's not what I had. This problem is from your people. You sold us this. You're the ones responsible for this. Why did you do this? Jealous, I suppose. I knew the iron mines weren't as productive as before, but really? Ruining this, the towns? Ruining the trout?
It's not
You're-
the dwarves behind
You're
this.
morally obliged to help.
Can we see any black ice on him?
You look up and
Rings,
down,
yeah.
he doesn't have a weapon on him.
No. Not even like a ring or a necklace. or
He's
something?
also, in comparison to sort of the fancy folk that you saw in the speaker's hall in Bryn Shander, this guy's really just dressed like a fisherman.
And he's not really acting. This is very different from what we experienced with Barrack Hammerstone.
Yep.
Like
were
Barrack
distinctly-
was like actively aggressive and hostile. This guy seems more
Just an asshole? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Confused
about
as-
right.
Like black ice or no, this guy would be this way.
That is definitely the sense you get. So a person who is really not, who's in a position that he temperamentally is probably not disposed towards keeping, and then you add in some pretty catastrophic problems that may have been caused by him, you have chronic fever.
Yeah, somebody else's fault, I suppose.
He was probably like the best fisherman of the group, and they said, "Okay, well, you're going to lead us now." And he's like, "What?"
Yeah, and he's been doing it for 10 years, too. And from the way he's speaking about Duvessa Shane, he may have not been doing a pretty good job of it for 10 years, too. So, anyway, he is quite insistent on trying to get you to help. This responsibility is yours. Isn't it? Isn't it? Wait, you said... And he turns back to you, Falcarol. You said you were here to help. You're going to help, right? How will you help?
Said we were passing through when we heard about the pirate issue. Helping is... We have another mission ahead of us.
What do you... And then...
You
and that
asked
kind
for
of carries
help
on
from
until you
someone?
guys say something.
We're tracking
Well-
down the source of the black ice. The lake freezes over. Your pirate problem's done for the winter.
Yeah.
Wonderful!
Um,
Wonderful! This is the type of help that you offer? Then be happy to go on your way.
I'll try and calm him down a bit, and maybe suggest a round of drinks to sort of calm everything down. So I think everyone's getting a bit excited.
So you guys have... I think, Tom, you have definitely, tipped your... or bent your elbow with the best of them. Does this guy strike you as someone who gets more manageable when he drinks, or...
I was thinking more like hot chocolate or something. More calm
Yeah.
than hard liquor.
It
Let us rejoice with the mixing of
Give him a
chocolate.
sugar rush.
This is, yeah. Any attempts, or at least any direct attempts to try and get this guy to calm the fuck down is just going to ratchet the tension level. He's one of those people.
Somebody
Well,
tell him to calm down.
I was gonna suggest maybe I could do, since I am a full elf, I could do that cool thing that Shale did one time in our Night Below campaign and kind of become sort of eerily more
Yeah, yeah.
present and intense in this world in a way that kind of is really striking, and have that be sort of a way to kind of speak to him directly in a way that kind of pierces through the
Sure,
the
yeah, I love it.
chaos.
So what do we see?
So Gorwin kind of he pulls back his hood, and you can see his ears and his flowing hair, and stands up straighter and taller, and he kind of takes in a deeper breath, and you can see the kind of almost there's a sense of like just life kind of springing up inside of him, almost too much of it. It's this kind of overabundance of energy, and Gorwin kind of reaches out to him with this sort of calming hand gesture, and he says, "Calm yourself. We will help if we can, but we need information."
When he sees this, you know, you guys, and you can feel like the light kind of dims in this too. The wind outside falls silent, and he staggers back and kind of like into stunned silence. And after carefully kind of studying the room, he takes a deep breath, or swallows hard, I should say, and then says, "Then what? What do you propose?"
Gentlemen, I think we need to deal with this pirate problem. And I sort of gave my word.
It's a good thing I didn't throw away my studded leather then.
Yes. Yes,
Same here.
yes. Elves.
Do any
We
of
had
you- you guys
100 years ago, elves came. An elf came and helped. Yes, elves. Elves. And he goes and he shakes each of you guys, whether half elf or full elf or not. He shakes each of your hands. So much nicer than dwarves. So much better. And then he sees Cola and realizes what he said. And he said, but I... And then gives up on trying to apologize.
He's a friend of elves. It's okay.
Oh, yes, yes. And he sort of, you know, gestures towards you. Then what? What do you need?
We'll need a ship.
We can supply that.
We'll need to start searching coves, or maybe make ourselves appear to be a fishing ship or something that they'll attack.
Have they been
And then-
attacking ships?
And also,
He nods and he see as if to say, like, I know how to bait a hook.
We're gonna
Well-
need a crew.
We're going to need a hook big enough to bait some pirates.
Then
so can we get a rough idea of how many pirates there are? Do you think from attacks, you know?
so
Is it
the
a dozen or
there were enough
200?
to full on attack. At the last time they seemed to be growing, and at the last attack they seemed to there was enough to attack the docks of East Haven full on and burn a bunch of buildings. Which is unthinkable in this. Like, that's never happened in the history of either of these lacks. There's not, you know, there may be like one or two bandits or something like that, but this is crazy.
Just the
Andrew,
one ship?
no, multiple ships now.
So
It's
this
been
sounds
growing.
like a really dangerous undertaking. Hannah.
What he says is that the person behind this is just Derek Gaffner was his name. Derek Gaffner was a he was an asshole before any of this happened, but the oh, one second, where is it? You know, the only criticism I would have of the layout of the book is that by spreading shit across two different books, one of the adventure and one the core rulebook, it's really a pain in the butt to try and keep all the pertinent information in one place. So they had intended to use the what you find out from Seaver is that the masthead was purchased from Barrack Hammerstone, and the what it was intended to do was to help with the fishing. It was supposed to bring more fish in to make it easier, increase their yield and then make them more money, by virtue of that. Instead, what ended up happening is they installed the black ice figurehead on Derek's ship, covered it up so it wasn't obvious what was going on, sent him out, and then he went a reaving instead. No one seems to know that that's the sort of the scheme that the two of them cooked up. But, yeah, Seaver did seem to do it, much as of an asshole he is. And the intent for this seems to be to benefit Cardinaval. He was trying to increase the riches for everybody, not just for one, person. But now that the guy's gone, and from what you've said, you told him about the black ice, it does seem, that he seems to think that there's still a bit of, it's a bit of a case of Derek Gaffner, just him. He was so predisposed towards betraying and being selfish, betraying the community and being selfish, that it's not a surprise that he went up with this. He just knew that if he played to his self-interest, he would keep his mouth shut and not let anyone else know. He also felt that he was the one who could keep his mouth shut to not let Caerkonig or East Haven know that the advantage that they had over them, bringing the fish to them as opposed to having an equal, opportunity, which is another thing he probably doesn't want to get out, not only because of the potential for the blame of the pirates who've been preying on people from all three towns. It's also the fact that he did try and cheat and use magical means to increase the yield at Cardinaval at the expense of the other two.
That could cost him being a speaker. And
it could, more so than him. I mean, not necessarily a speaker. It's the people of Cardinaval who elect him as speaker. And he was doing, his incompetence at doing this, that maybe that might cost him, but he was doing it for the benefit of the community, so they're probably going to keep supporting him in that way. What might be the problem is the tension between Caerkonig and East Haven and Cardinaval. And guys, where have you heard about a strategy to drive a wedge between different communities before?
Sounds a lot like what happened in the Dwarven Valley.
And Brinshannon.
And
I might
Brinshannon.
actually.
And the Elk Tribe with the Bear Tribe.
Elk Tribes. This seems like a play of our good old friend. What's her name? Hedred?
Hedred Arnsfirth?
Wait.
So what are you guys thinking then?
We need to go hunt some pirates.
Yeah.
Gonna lose time.
Be quick about it, folks.
Yeah, Ragnar is if you're involving him with this, he's asking how is this going to help? The winter will not get better. I love this adventure. There's no good answers.
Well, I figure it's very in keeping with Gorwin's character to have decided, okay, well, we need to help these people, so I'm gonna make the agreement, and we'll do our best to explain in the aftermath that we need you to hang out here a couple days or maybe more while we deal with this other problem.
Tom is just gritting his teeth and being like, I wanted to go to fucking Brinshander, and now we're distracted with this bullshit.
Lex is trying to find some way of justifying this to the big picture, and he's not finding anything right now.
Sometimes
kind of sneakily.
Tom's going to mention we don't want to leave enemies and a large pirate force with black ice behind us.
That's growing, yeah. And Falkrol's his take on it is, yes, there's the big picture, but you just can't ignore the right thing to do when you're going along the big picture. So, and Goran's kind of made the decision for us.
Well, and maybe so. Best case scenario, if we can deal with this quickly, they will, I'm sure, be willing to ferry us out to like the mouth of the river up here and cut off a couple days of overland travel. So
yeah,
we might not lose as much time as we originally thought.
Yeah, if we don't have to go through the Icewind Pass, that's probably a good thing.
Okay, so how do we get these pirates to come to us and quickly? We do like a big fishing ship, Make it look like we're
Sets up
easy
a
prey.
bait, and as the speaker said, he knows how to set a bait. Set bait.
Well, he knows what kind of ships have been attacked and where, so let's
So what he's
get
going
on
to,
one and
unless you
If
guys say
this-
otherwise,
this
what he's
pirate-
going to present to the rest of the community is that you guys have agreed to help the community, to which everyone's like, ah, because they're all waiting to hear what's after having drank with you guys last night. They're all waiting to hear what you're doing. They're all on board. Whatever your strategy is, they are going to be on board. They will trust that you are the ones who know what they're doing.
yeah.
Plus, these guys, not for nothing, the people who live in the Icewind Dale, they're made of pretty stern stuff. So if what they need to do is to go out and act as if they're fishing normally and try and draw the pirates in, they'll fucking do it.
Cool.
Okay.
And so these pirates literally got into East Haven and burned some buildings down. So that means they got off their boat and came in.
Yep.
So we just need to make them do the same thing.
Yep. There was an
And/or-
aborted
and/or-
attack here as well, too. You find out. They didn't want to tell you about it
And/or when
before. Sorry, Dave, go ahead.
I would say, and/or even if the pirate ship is coming in, we just need to be on a boats or ship or something like that to go out to them as well. Like we'll board their ship, we'll take them over and burn the ship with black ice and sink it to the bottom of the lake.
Or just
So-
cut off the masthead.
I might ask Krennic, how long after Derek began his piracy, how long was it between that and his attack on East Haven?
East Haven was only a week ago.
So he's going pretty arrogant pretty quickly.
Powerful, pretty quickly. They've gained. I don't know where they're getting extra people from, but they've had more people come in with them.
But what I mean you've known this man for your life. Strikes me that he's becoming cocky. He's becoming careless, reckless, and so perhaps
An attack. No one has ever attacked East Haven, even in the time of the a century ago when the attack from the orcs came. No one came over. Caer Dineval and Caer Konig were damaged, and Caer Dineval was in the hands of orcs for a decade. But
I'll turn to the rest of the group and say, like, we're gonna need to be careful about this one. If he's becoming increasingly brazen with his attacks, it means on the one hand he probably feels more powerful, more capable, and he can afford to be more reckless. But I don't need to remind you that I know firsthand just how paranoid this black ice will make a man. He's also going to be looking over every shoulder. His arrogance and his brazen attacks does not necessarily mean that he will not see through a trap. He may not be easy to hook. And we're going to need to make no mistake. It doesn't matter
Well-
if we take down a couple of his lieutenants in the ships. We need to take him down if we're going to stop this.
Well, sounds like we're back in the east side of the Dwarven Valley then.
Yeah, I'm not leading this time.
So, quick question for the mayor guy. Do you know if they have any spellcasters among their hands?
not that he's aware of, no.
That would make it a little easier if they didn't. So,
Yeah, I could do without fireballs on a ship.
yeah, I don't want to fireball to the face again. I got 2 of them.
Quick, jump in the wall. Oh. All right. So, guys, let's... actually, I just need to take a very quick break here. I need to take a comfort break myself. We took it too early, so old man bladder is needing attention again. So let's just take 2 minutes here, guys, then we'll come back and we will hear what your plan is for leading the pirates in. So we'll be back in about 2 minutes, folks.
2 minutes to plan a trap for a fleet of pirates.
There's
Well-
And me without my rum.
Well, I was thinking one idea would be to set up a Q ship, effectively a baited ship.
Yeah.
It needs to be a big
We
enough
might
target
not
though, to
necessarily
draw
want
them
to
in.
try and get the big guy on the first run, but we can whittle him down. The other way is, I don't know, if we knew they were going to attack here or East Haven again, or Jay again, we could lay in wait till they come ashore and then just like try and like fight them on our ground and not theirs.
That's a good plan.
But
if
I
we
favour
knew
I
when they
favour
were
the
gonna
dummy
attack.
ship, and us hiding, pretending to be
We can't be sure when they're gonna attack.
no,
Let alone
unless
where.
we find some. Well, I mean, even if we take one of their smaller ships, there might be evidence of upcoming attacks.
Fair, but speed is also. It's not a bad idea. It's just like speed is also a consideration.
Yeah,
And that's
I think
gonna like a multi-staged plan is gonna take longer and longer to do. Even if, although I would agree that might be more, like the chance of success might be higher.
Well, I think a bait ship with us on it, and see if we get attacked. And if we get attacked by the ship with the black ice head thing, we go for it and try and take him down.
Gotta say, not a super big fan of being on a boat.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And if we are, I'm putting on studded leather.
That's probably not a bad idea.
I'm so glad I didn't
We will
sell
have to
that.
think about that. Well,
Kev, I had a question for
Maybe
you.
next about how easy it is to swim in chain versus.
Yeah, you can't. You sink. There's a spell called Repair Injury under the Healing sphere.
Yep.
That's if you're using the critical hit system, you can like repair injuries caused by it. Would that work similar to our mortal wounds?
What level is the spell?
It's a 3rd level.
3rd level? No.
Okay.
Because it needs 4th level spells in order to cure.
Gotcha. Well, I was looking at the spell.
I think Cola's ring can do that sort of thing.
Yeah, I was just
It
looking
uses a
at
lot of charges, but
future reference because it says it can repair similar things like shattered bones or.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously that is that was not written with the house rules in mind, and so the house rules is that it does require a more serious spell. Like,
Okay.
there's a reason that not everyone's walking around, with hale and hardy and whatnot.
Yeah.
Is because sometimes injuries just you don't have the money to have them repaired.
Okay.
And okay, so we're just waiting for Dave to get back. Maybe that's my excuse. Can I grab more coffee? I can.
well, I think the plan was to like set up
Be right back.
a trap.
But yeah,
It's getting hot in here.
well,
24 degrees in my place already.
really should, you really
that's
should get ACs.
High 70s, low 80s.
You said 20, 28?
28 is 82,
Double it and add 30. Yeah.
so it's probably about 78.
Oh, it's not
24
quite-
degrees is 75.
Okay.
Oh, that's too warm for me as room temperature goes.
That's about what I keep. I keep it a little lower in my apartment, but not much.
Oh, I
20,
try to keep
21 is
65-ish. I'm warm blooded as it is, so
Oh, is it warm? Dave, is it warm in your place?
Yeah, it's 24.
Easily. Yeah.
But it's hot outside, so it's just going to keep getting hotter.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be 31 here today. Anna's a black dog. She's in on the sofa right now, panting like a maniac because I guess she's been sitting outside. Okay, so let's talk about what is the plan that is being put into motion here, guys. You have the benefit of having a whole bunch of fishermen who can serve as distractions as well. The boats we're talking about as well, too, guys.
sacrificial lambs.
These are, I mean, they're not going to sacrifice themselves, but what they are is to appear as if they are, someone who's going to be taken. The boats you're talking about, too, these are not ships. They're boats with... Some of them will have masts on them as well, too, but we're not talking about something much bigger than like a one-person boat to take fish in. The largest of these is maybe about twice the size of a rowboat, and the what do you call it? The pirates' ships as well too. They're not ships either. These are the same types of boats. Raiders that have just repurposed
So they're basically
these.
big long boats.
Well, I mean, they're not long ships. Long ships are too. That's too big. You're thinking
No,
too.
I meant sort of longish boats with maybe 6 people in them, or is that the size we're talking about?
You're about twice the size of a rowboat.
Okay.
So, and there
yeah.
are
Okay.
at the largest. What they are is it's something that you can have a sail up. You could fit maybe comfortably 2 people in them. For the larger ones, you could fit maybe 3, but there's just not, for commercial fishermen like this, it's not economical to fit 6 people in a boat. When 1 person or 2 people can really maximize the amount of fish they can bring in. Does that make sense, everyone?
So how big
Okay.
is the pirate boat then? Like are they
Same thing. The
10
largest of them is going to be about twice that size. It would probably comfortably. It would be for fishing. It would comfortably fit maybe 3 people in order to get some of the larger nets out of the water. But with the pirates, if you're not concerned about leaving space for for fish and stuff like that too, you could probably fit 8 people on them. But I mean, it would be clear that you've got 8 people crammed into a boat as opposed to, the 3 people plus the space needed for fish. So with that in mind, I mean, the most you can fit, if you want to appear as if you are fishermen, the most you could probably justify on a ship is 3. None of you guys have any kind of sailing proficiencies, right?
No.
So that means you're going to need to have at least 1 person who knows how to operate the boat to bring it out for you. So how are you guys going to distribute yourselves? How are you hiding yourselves amongst the rest of the ships?
I think maybe how many people can we get to volunteer to be boat drivers?
Well, as many as you need. This whole town is
maybe
behind your
one
plan.
One in each boat, and then if the pirates attack, we can coordinate and pile on them.
So you're going to have each of you in each separate boats?
No, let's go with 2, 2, and 1.
Well, if we can get enough large boats, then.
Yep.
Just the
Yeah,
larger
this
boats
is
are
a
free.
community of fishermen. Like, they've got tons of fishermen. While they've some of them have been affected by it, there's going to be enough to give the appearance of a group of fishermen. Well, when they go out, they'll go in small groups, just because it's safer that way, and also, if you need help or something like that, you can get that. But it's probably groups of like 3 or 4 boats that typically go out and fish together. The whole fleet goes out, and they all kind of go to their different spots, and they fish their different spots, and they all come back at the end of the day. That's the typical sort of fish, it's a fisherman's thing. If none of you guys know how to operate a boat, you're going to need to do 1 each. You're going to have 1 of the spots taken up by that. And to convincingly appear as if you are a fisherman, at most you have 2 extras in there. So how do you want to distribute yourselves up for this? And also, how do you foresee engaging the pirates?
Well,
So I actually think the
archer is one
idea.
option. I
No,
think
you
maybe
go.
if the archers engage them, and then the fighters close and try and board. If you see what I mean. We think we
they're
want to
in-
have like 2 of us in a boat.
They're in a rowboat though. There's no boarding them.
You're gonna
They're
have
in
to
a
climb up.
If they're in a large rowboat, it's not like we're going to go rowboat to rowboat.
Well, in that case, they can go down to the depths.
I mean,
The other way is to effectively just use archery on them.
Well, yeah, but that goes 2 ways.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they've
Yeah, but they're
probably
not going to
got,
be as good as us.
well, no, but they've been at this longer. They might. It's reasonable to assume they might have like shields that they've attached to their boats and such. They have
Well-
things to hide behind.
Oh,
Remember, these
Yeah.
these ships also have sails that can likely be set ablaze as well.
Yep.
And then they
And-
can't run.
You have not seen the ones that have been hit have not survived too. they found the remnants of it. So pirates are certainly not above setting fire to the ships to try and encourage surrender or distract you so that they can get close enough.
And do we want to just obliterate them, or do we want to, take a bunch out and then follow them back and get to the source and kill the source and then move out?
Derek's not going to be leading an assault on a bunch of random fishing vessels. It's going to be someone else, and this doesn't stop until Derek is stopped, and his black crystal buried at the bottom of this lake. So maybe Mo's right. Maybe we got to have a couple, both one of us, but we need to, like, what we ask the fishermen, what do they normally do when the pirates attack? They try to get out of there as fast as they can?
We try and flee.
And what do? Chase you down?
Yeah.
So why don't we do that?
We pretend to flee.
Why don't we flee and have them chase in and then...
Well, not even necessarily flee, but kind of flee obliquely. Like, basically, as soon as somebody starts seeing pirates, not move necessarily towards Cara Dinaval, but towards each other, so that we kind of group our forces together as a way to kind of make our boat stand, since we want to fight them, right? We don't want, like, one boat to be the last one fleeing and it gets caught by pirates and the other four of us are like, oh, we're okay, but one of us got stuck, killed by pirates, overwhelmed by numbers, right? That's the opposite of what we want.
I look forward to that.
Which boat that'll happen to.
I look forward to the check-in with the community. It's like, well, we've got good news and bad news. The good news is we have made contact with the pirates. The bad news is Trevor is dead.
Trevor's dead.
Yeah,
I'm not being captured again, guys. I my fill.
Cola, professional hostage.
Yeah, pretty much at this point. If it happens again.
And Falcarel.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, I've only been taken hostage once.
I'm not getting caught by the pirates and getting turned into a beating post again.
I'm not looking forward to that, no.
Okay. Captain Cola would. Yeah.
So let's talk about supernatural. We've got a couple people who have, it's throw pointy things or hit with sharp things is their, what they bring to the table. What about the two priests? Do you guys have anything specifically that you're thinking that might affect your strategy overall here?
Oh yeah. Now that I've hit 3rd level, Falcarel's ability to be an archer is just gone exponentially up.
That still fits under the category of hurl pointy things at things.
Yeah, but other things is if I can get close enough, I can warp the wood on their boat and maybe open up a hole and cause them to start sinking.
Okay.
That's an option.
Well, Cola, you got anything?
Hearing that, I think Cola needs to bring out his spell book and do some reading this evening. Because I did think that I might look at some Endure Cold, just in case. I have no idea why that might be useful. Who knows?
Yep.
Might need to be swimming, and that would be good to have.
Oh, yeah. I'm prepping 3 of those, so if you want to cover the other 2.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I don't really have. I will. I'll take a look at the book to see if that's permissible, so Cola can at night can kind of rearrange things, because hold person is probably not all that useful, so I can switch that out. But I think we want to keep things like bless. My spiritual weapon is probably useful because it's a ranged thing, but I like this idea of creative spells that can do area effects.
Well,
but we don't want to be sacrificing our healing.
Command only does 1 word, so we've kind of experimented with different ways that works and doesn't work. But swim might be really deadly on a command.
Yeah, and I can do it twice, and it's free. So let me at their captain, and he can go swim.
I'm gonna dip in command too, I suppose.
Yeah, Endure Cold is protection, so you'll definitely have that.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's cast for an hour and a half per level, so I would get like almost six hours of it if something, don't know what, but if something were to happen.
What about magic items? Do you guys have any magic items that will be able to be brought to bear here? In the coming battle? Yeah, in this game, yes. Not to, you're not transferring between WoW characters.
Yeah, like I don't have any magic items except for that ring.
Okay.
So,
I don't see anything immediate in the ring's abilities that would be of obvious help. Outside of, like, obviously there's some healing stuff in there which could be quite useful, but nothing.
And those of you who are warriors or who wear armor at least too, if you need, or metal armor, if you need to trade down to something that you do not have, the community will supply that for you as a loaner.
Okay.
A juiced up web spell might not work that great, except if it's between two boats.
Well, web, because of the radius, and this is a non sequitur, I don't know if you guys actually have access to it, but on a boat that size, where would you go to get out of it?
wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because Les has
Remember,
the Cloak of Arachnidia, so he gets a juiced up web spell.
webs are extremely flammable.
Oh,
too, so
fuck, you do
web
have
it.
web. Yeah, holy shit.
If we web that ship and hit it with a flaming arrow, that ship is going up.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, or we web it and we get him close. We take one of the guys hostage and then set it up on fire.
Mm.
So I have the ability to cast Bark Skin as well. It's not as good as like metal armor, but I can get you an armor class of 5 with it for about a minute. Or it's 4 rounds plus 1 round per level. So
What kind of flame-based spells do you and I have, John?
no, I don't do the fire.
Oh.
And I think you're earth-based, so you don't do fire either.
Yeah, Clangadin doesn't get fire.
Well, and I can't just. So actually, it's a good thing. I'll have to ask. I was looking at this pre-spell compendiums. I can't just take whatever I want out of there. It's got to fit within my sphere, right?
It's got to be within your sphere. Yeah, that's right.
You get Elemental Earth and Protection Guardian.
Yeah.
Or
Elemental Earth, super useful in this scenario. Super.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get access to the all as well, because that's every cleric gets that.
Okay.
Well, hold on. What? I mean, I'm a very, very, very new convert to to this other dwarven god now of Baranor.
Yep.
I don't necessarily know all that much.
Well, you wouldn't have access to. You're an Allegor, so you are.
Oh yeah, so this is not going to affect.
No.
I can't like double dip or anything.
No.
Okay.
In particular, like if you were just a cleric, then yeah, you may have some flexibility in accessibility if you're worshiping a pantheon, as opposed to an individual. But as an Allegor, you are specifically trained within that priesthood. You are solely devoted to that one god. Now we can talk about if there's a shift that's going to happen in your character. That's something I'd be happy to explore. But the what do you call it? In terms of where you are now, that would yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Nope.
Okay.
Makes sense to me.
So that's cool. So you got your magic, the web. Does anyone else have any other magic items that would be of interest? I don't think anyone has flaming arrows right now, but you could definitely have those prepared. The fishing community is going to have ready access to pitch and tar. So,
ooh, my spiritual hammer is in fact an axe. In my case, we had discussed that.
Yep.
We have to discuss if this would actually work mechanically in a scenario, but presumably, an axe would be a nifty thing because I've been able to manipulate it and not do like accidentally attack my comrades because you've been said that I can manipulate it sufficiently that I have a good deal of control over it at range.
Yep.
So presumably, like maybe I could hack and slash at some of the rigging that keeps sails attached to the boats and use that to also try to help dislodge.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the help of the people in the community, they could help you understand what is vulnerable, like what's vital.
I'll definitely go chat with some of the fishermen to understand how that works then.
Okay.
Yeah, this warp wood, if I get within 50 yards of the boat, I can start weakening it and whatnot. And yeah.
Okay. So then how do you guys want to distribute yourselves among the boats? Sounds like you got some good plans in mind here. You'll have an evening to prepare your spells and such. How do you want to distribute yourselves?
We'll need to have 2 fishermen and one of us on a boat. Is that what you were saying earlier?
One. You only need one, but how you guys choose, if you want to have two and then only one of you on a boat, have 5 separate boats, you could definitely do that. What are you guys thinking?
Well, we got 3 archers, right? So
4 if you include me.
yeah, that's true.
And
I know
Tom,
you're
you're specialized in the boat too, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if Kola can crack off his spiritual axe with 40 yards range, that's sufficient for a missile as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would be focusing on damaging the ships rather than foes, I think. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan, I think.
And Gorwin, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just a matter of what do we do? Like, we're out on the water, we're in the boats. What is our setup and what is our plan for like specific engagement? Right? What happens when we see the pirates' sails on the horizon or whatever the equivalent is for the lake?
Yeah, and just so I'm clear, are each of you in a separate boat? You may have answered this already and I missed it, but so forgive me if I'm asking you to repeat, but is the plan that there's going to be one of you in each, like each have your own boat, your own fisherman who's going to be operating it, or is it like you're having 2 in one, 2 in another, 1 in another? What's your preference, guys?
I think it's each individually, but
Okay.
that was my understanding. But if anybody else feels differently, speak up.
Lads, I feel I have to say then, I haven't been too subtle about it, but I'll be direct. I'm really not a fan of being out on the lake, if you catch my drift. Us dwarves, we're not exactly the sea type.
I'll teach you how to swim over the course of the next 20 minutes or so.
Oh,
We go like this.
That's fine. That'll be fine. No, I would rather not necessarily be on by me onesie in a boat.
So you prefer with one of us then? For
Is
you?
anybody-
Either that
anybody-
or with 2 fishermen. Like I need at least 2 other people to watch me in case I fall in. Because if I fall in, that's it. Cola's gone.
Yeah, do you guys anybody have swimming proficiency?
Especially with water wings on.
No, I checked. It's not one of the ones I selected.
Yeah.
I do have survival, which I don't know whether that counts.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Probably not.
Cola's preference is individual. It sounds like Gorwin's preference is individual as well.
No. Cola's preference is not individual.
No, but I mean like only you and 2 fishermen. I mean of the party members that you guys will each be in a separate boat.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out, like, the fisherman would be the most experienced.
Yep.
And would be able to presumably swim and whatever, and maybe stand a better chance of saving Cola if he falls in or something.
If you fall into
they're
Lac
not-
Dinishir this time of year, they're assuming you're dead.
Okay, see, that's the other thing.
Yeah,
They're not
'cause-
exactly even loyal to me enough to try.
No, it's not that. It's that it's so cold right now. It's assumed you fall in, you're going to die before you get out, and if they dive in to try and save you, they're going to get hypothermia as well.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
so Cola, maybe you should express to them you can protect yourself from the cold with magic, and maybe tie a rope around you so they just haul you back onto the boat.
Right, because my plan is as soon as I see those sails, I'm casting Endure Cold to give myself the maximum potential, because I can survive up to minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty freaking cold.
Yeah.
Which, so if I was on a rope and I fall in and I'm hauled up within the next couple minutes, in theory, I should be able to survive that.
Well, and that spell lasts for an hour and a half per level, so you
Yeah.
can cast it on other people before they get into their boats.
Yeah.
Well, if I take multiples of it, yeah. But we need to balance it with and it's only first level.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'm taking 3 of them, so you only have to prepare 2 if you want.
Okay, we can deal with that in Discord, I think, after me.
Okay.
What's the range on?
I think it's touch. Let me see.
It is touch, yes.
Okay, so we got to be pretty close together to use that on each other, or do it ahead of time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
Mine will last 7.5 hours, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the plan was we were going to try like feign retreat.
That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about just specifically how many people are in each boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the broader strategy, that is what's decided on, but I want to know where everyone is, because we're going to start next session with you guys out on the river with the Fang Dragon attacking. I mean, with the...
I'm kind of thinking I personally would rather Cola be in a boat with another party member.
Mostly
I'm
because
quite
I'm sure
happy
the
to do
fishermen are wonderful, but they don't have loyalty to me.
Okay, Thomas is happy to be in the same boat as Cola. No.
Okay.
All right, you're
Yeah.
you're a good strong
Does
one
anybody
too.
else want to be in a boat together?
I'm fine with having 2 fishermen.
Okay.
No, but if
Corwin?
your protection from cold is a range of touch, though, then that you're either gonna have to cast it beforehand. You said wait 7.5 hours?
For me, it is.
Yeah, it's
yes.
most that's daylight hours during this time, so that would be.
Corwin, what are your thoughts? Alone or separate?
So I actually have swim. So would it be so cold that if I fell in, I couldn't even make it to another boat or something to get it cast on me?
So the trouble is that when you get in, if you're in there, it's not so much your ability to swim or whatnot. It's that it drops your core temperature so fast that you just start cramping up. So it's not you could be the Olympic swimmer. That's not what keeps you safe. If you've got the spell on, though, if
There's
you've
no
got Falcarel's thing on you, then it's as if it's temperate water. You could easily swim yourself to safety.
Then I think what we do is we just have Falcarel cast his longer version on himself and Lex and Gorwin as we go out, essentially.
Yep. So then Lex and Falcarel are going to be in a boat together, and Gorwin will be in his own? Or are all the rest of the three you guys?
Cola and Thomas can go together because
Yep.
they both want to be with somebody.
Yep.
And then Gorwin, Falcarel, and Lex can all be in separate boats, but they can have Falcarel spells on them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now that gives us, so guys, we're almost at the end here. So between now and next session, we'll have our priests prepare their spells. So it gives you lots of time to figure out what specific combo of spells you want to have prepped. I know who's in what boat right now. And then next session we will find out what happens. While I love living on a cliffhanger, it is going to be a chance of seeing what happens on the lake. So awesome, guys! We're going to end the session there, and what we will do is let's give some XP here. No one has spent any astonishing fortune today. I don't think we rolled a single dice, did we? Apart from like random encounters and stuff.
D20s.
Yeah. All right. So then, let's see here. This is... Oh, nice. Let's see here. It means everyone's working with 50, and you guys did discover a new town. Everyone's going to walk away with a whopping 150 XP. So 150 for the day. Yep. Living large.
Oh, I'm so far from fifth.
All you need is, you know where the real XP is giants. Giants are worth a shit ton. Although, yeah, I've had it just not intentionally, but we've had like 4 or 5 kinds of giants show up in various campaigns in the last like 2 weeks. Okay, so guys, that brings us to the end of the session then. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for session 29 of our quarantine campaign. What, is that right? Yeah, 29. So next session will be session 30. It's almost as if we got to have something special planned, guys. Maybe a big pirate fight on the water. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of this video, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. If you enjoyed the session, we'd appreciate you clicking on thumbs up if you don't mind. And if you never want to miss a session too, be sure to click on subscribe and the bell icon to be notified when we go live. I'll also be posting the schedule of the channel later today. Every Sunday night, I post the schedule for the coming week on the community tab of the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel, as well as on Twitter and on the Dungeon Musings Discord. And if you're curious how to get to the Dungeon Musings Discord, you can find a link to that in the description of this video as well. All of us are active there, and you can find lots of other great people talking about other games. We have channels dedicated to every thing we have on this on the channel. All the games, all the campaigns, as well as a bunch of other cool topics as well. So we, let's see here, also have a link in the description of the video to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign that we run on the channel. And from now until September 1st, 2020, for every $25 Canadian that you donate, you get one chance to win our grand prize in the charity raffle we run annually, or one of our other prizes. The grand prize this year is a copy of Beadle and Grimm's Eberron, Gold Edition, Eberron Rising from the Last War. It's this amazing box set that has a ton of great stuff. Everything that's in the Eberron Rising from the Last War book, as well as a bunch of extra stuff, including monster cards and tons of really cool things, handouts, some dragon stone, or what do you call it, dragon shards. There's a symbol of Featherfall, or Featherfall token. So yeah, a bunch of extra encounters that aren't in the original book. And if you don't win that, then that's my copy up there. The copy that the grand prize winner will get is still in the packaging from Beetle and Grimm. If you don't win that, there's still tons of other great stuff, including a chainmail dice bag made by our very own resident armor smith, by Dave, which he generously donated to the campaign. This is my chainmail dice bag that he made me, but there's one that's one of the prizes. There's also 2 copies of the Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea Core rulebook. There's a copy of the Any award-winning The Monsters Know What They're Doing by Keith Anon. There are some posters and some T-shirts and some other cool stuff from the Dungeon Musings Redbubble shop. And there's some cool OSR zines from our buddy Jason Hobbs. There's a Skittermander dice bag, so lots of great stuff that you can win. And the best thing is all tickets, all donations that are made go directly to SOS Children's Villages International, a really cool charity active in over 130 countries that benefits over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children from around the world. So all donations go not only to give you a chance to win some cool gaming stuff, but also to help out some kids who could really use some help. All donations go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel. None of it goes to any other middleman. So great opportunity to win some gaming stuff and be a hero and help some kids. Last but not least, I want to give a big thank you to my players. So Andrew, Arlen, Mo, John, and Dave, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. This was a lot of fun. I look forward to the lakeside, or the Battle of the Lake next session. And once again, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us. If you are listening to us during the quarantine when this campaign takes place, I do hope that this finds you healthy, safe, and weathering the current crisis as well as can be expected. We hope that the escapades of our heroes have given you an opportunity to take your mind off the troubles of the world and think about the troubles our heroes keep getting themselves into. And until we see you again, happy gaming.